Long thought dump video. Let's go. We
I'm also here.
I didn't do one of these for Gen 8 because I kind of avoided spoilers on that. Here, nope. Nope, looked at everything the moment it was released. Um so
It's been a fun ride.
presumably I'm putting a thumbnail on this that's just like the three starters or something, so there's no spoilers. And
Yeah.
if you've somehow already gotten this far and clicked the video, be warned. I'm going to be showing every single new Pokemon, and in fact, on the screen right now, you're seeing the names of several, so congratulations, you've already been spoiled.
Yeah, and we'll talk about them in depth as well. Well, as much depth as we know from data mines and just people playing the
Yeah.
game and stuff.
So,
Neither of us have played it yet, though.
Yep, just gonna go down the list, talk about it, talk about stupid stuff that's kind of popped up in the leak season, and hopefully I won't die because I am coughing and also my tooth exploded. So, um,
You just need to zip it back up.
yes. So we'll just get right into it then, I guess. I'm gonna be going in regional dex order because the actual national dex order is complete fucking dog shit.
It's horrible.
We'll
It's
talk
so
about
bad.
that in a bit, but so either way, it's gonna start with the starters. Jumping around here looking at images is gonna be a nightmare
Yeah,
because a lot of these don't really have great images for some reason. There's like perfectly good pictures of all the shinies, but not the regular ones. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But
Nobody's bothered to collate that yet, I guess.
yeah, but anyway, so starting with not Weed Cat. I don't know why everybody insists on calling it that.
Yeah.
This one was by far my least favorite when they were first revealed.
I remember that.
I think it's just this picture of it. I fucking hate this picture of it so much. Like, I've seen other pictures where its mouth is closed and it's like adorable. Like this thing's actually pretty good. I don't like its face in this image. Like,
Yeah. I've always liked all three of the first forms. So I had left my decision. In theory, I left my decision until like when I would see the final forms, but I kind of leaned towards Quaxley pretty early on, basically just to be a contrarian because it was the least popular one. And I'm like, it's fine. I like dogs. It's cute.
yeah.
But yeah, Sprigatito.
Yep, it's fine. So now we have Florigato, which
Yeah.
of course
Yeah.
the moment this
Just
thing, yeah, the moment this thing showed up, millions of people around the world started screaming because oh no, it can't be bipedal.
Jesus wept.
Like I never really got that. I
Plus, if you were somebody that were following the leaks anyway, like Ku, we're going to be mentioning Ku a lot.
Yeah.
We'll explain him in a minute. He told us it was going to be bipedal like months ago.
So the thing is, like, I can understand it with Litten into Torocat and then suddenly jumping to Incineroar is a pretty big leap, and it kind of upset people. I would have been fine with like a more feral quadrupedal tiger Pokemon. I would have probably liked that more than Incineroar.
Yeah.
But it kind of depends. It's really just, is the design good? I feel like this one is pretty good. Like,
Yeah, I like it.
it's got like this weird little yo-yo
Man.
thing that it does tricks with, and I don't know.
Got like a Kachif or lava, whatever the fuck that is.
What is this? What would you? It's not a magician. What would you call it? It's like a stage
This is just like
performer.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. We'll see this with the final forms, but the theme with this one is that they're all kinds of performers.
Yeah. Oh God.
Just
is
like
Crocodile
Gen 5
supposed
was.
to be a clown?
No, it's a musician.
Okay. Because everybody says it's a fucking clown.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
like,
get that.
yeah.
Gen 5 has the, like, just to recap here, I don't think there were any themes prior to Gen 5. Gen 5 then had, like, the different parts of the world, which is just Japan, China, and France.
Yeah. Then we had RPG like archetypes.
Then they didn't do anything for Gen 7, but people thought at first it was supposed to be, like, a circus. They thought it was, like...
I thought that it was.
Balance,
I thought it was
yeah.
archetype. I thought it was RPG archetypes again. It's the bard, the archer, and I guess I don't
Like a barbarian, I guess.
maybe.
Huh. Well, I don't know about that. I saw people guessing it would be like a circus thing with Rowlet as the ringleader and Lyn as the cat, the like tiger that jumps through the hoop of fire, and
Yeah.
um,
I'm gonna jump to the next
Foxleo
one
was
while we
the-
talk about this. So
like a seal, the bouncing a ball or whatever.
and then Gen 8 was just what, like
Gen 8 was like things
in
people,
British
things that
culture?
kids want. No, it's things kids want to be when they grow up. So you have a musician, a footballer,
Spy.
and a spy. Yeah, it's like it's I guess it's
So-
like role models for young children.
I always thought it was like, James Bond, soccer, and the Beatles, question mark, because they're all British. I don't know. But anyway, moving on. Here's Meowscarada, or Scarada. I don't know why I keep saying Scarada, because it's supposed to be masquerade. But
I assume that mascarada is like the Spanish word for masquerade, so it could go either way.
yeah. So,
I like this thing a lot. This is my favorite fully evolved one. I will not be picking it, however.
I don't know if I have a favorite. I like this one well enough. People have asked what this thing is. It's just like this little ball thing that kind of like comes apart into
Opens up
pieces,
and-
and
Yeah, it juggles.
Um,
This thing's supposed to be like a magician.
right,
As you can see right there from the thing that says magician Pokemon.
indeed. So yeah, again, ignoring the whole bipedal aspect because I didn't care about that in the first place. There's also the whole side of the fan base that insists this thing is fur bait, which I don't really understand.
Yeah, anytime
Like-
any like mammal, like a bipedal mammal, is created, people are like, oh, fur bait. And it's like, no, this ain't no Lopunny. Like,
Yeah, so again, I think it's fine. I haven't really seen it in action. I know that Quaxley's Final Evolution has a very like involved idol that
Yes.
kind of changed my opinion like on it than just the still image did. But haven't seen this one moving around. Either way, I think it's good. So Fuecoco from the beginning was the starter that I wanted because it was just the weirdest of the three. I know a lot of people early on thought it looked like an apple. It still kind of does.
I think it's supposed to be a pepper,
Yeah, maybe.
but even that is slightly questionable.
But
It also has a weird piece of American cheese slapped on it, like
it does.
Scorbunny did as well.
Yeah. Either way, I just think this thing is like super derpy. I wasn't a huge fan of Totodile because I thought that it was basically just like, yep, it's a cartoon alligator. This one is like a little bit more weird. That it looks like a bubble bobble dragon, and so I kind of like
does.
it. It's probably the one I'm going with. Then we have Crocolore, which for some reason it took fucking ages to get an actual decent image of this thing that wasn't like crouched behind some grass.
It's the unfortunate side effect of actually being one of the first things to leak. Is we got a really shitty picture early on, so people stopped caring and they wanted to see other stuff.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I haven't looked at all the images in my spreadsheet in a long time, so I'm wondering if there's going to be any other cryptids in there that are like barely fucking identifiable.
Yeah.
But so yeah, Crocolore. I don't know if I'm saying that right because it's calor is like heat or something in Spanish, right? I think that's where the name came from.
Yeah.
But either way, yeah, it's got like a little sombrero, which is like a nest with an egg in it.
This line takes a very strange turn. I'm not really sure what people were expecting from the beginning. I guess maybe a Peppa theming. Some people did call the ghost typing of the final
Well, no,
form.
obviously it was going to become a snake because it had to keep the Zodiac theme.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Some people call the like an adult male crocodile is actually a bull, so it would still fit now. Like they I still fully believe that at some point around Gen 3 or 4, Game Freak decided to adopt the Zodiac thing loosely because I know Fennekin sort of broke it a little bit, and at this point they officially dumped it. I know we have our disagreement on that, but
I've always. I mean, you're probably right, but I've just always found the Zodiac, like the Fire Zodiac theorist people, so annoying that I've just refused to acknowledge it. I'm just like, no, it's just a coincidence. Like, and to be fair, it is loose, so it could.
yeah,
still go
because
either way.
Cyndaquil and Fennekin don't really fit unless you squint hard enough, but all the others pretty much do. So.
I'm glad to not be able to be like, well, we know the next Firestar's got to be either a snake or a bull or whatever.
Yeah, I would say, like, that would shoehorn us into eventually having a fire horse, and we already have Ponyta, but hey, we already had a fire fox, and they still did Fennekin, so...
Yeah, they've done other stuff like that too.
Anyway, yeah, this one's fine. It's middle form syndrome. I don't think anyone's going to care about this one that much.
Right.
The last form is very divisive. So I will mention that.
There's a better picture of this somewhere, I think.
So okay.
You can see more of it.
I'll look at the. Here's like the shiny up here. You can. Oh no, spoilers! You're seeing everything else. How about the artwork on this site? Here we go.
That's fan artwork, but
I know
it's
it's still, but yeah, sound quality.
what happened? Oh,
I don't know.
am I popping?
You like no, you're not crispy. You disappeared for a second, and then I heard like background hum, but it's fine.
I didn't touch my mic. Okay.
Anyway, so I'll just go back to the first one. So, I think this thing is kind of cool. The number one complaint that people have with it is that it's like balding and it kind of looks like a clown or like Robotnik. Like which it I can kind of see that, but it wasn't my first thought.
It definitely wasn't mine either, but it's hard to unsee for me.
Yeah. But yeah, so this one it has this fire bird that it keeps around, and apparently the bird is like the thing that does most of the attacking for like special moves, from what I've heard.
Oh, okay. It like hops. I know it like hops around on the colored bones on its head to like play like a xylophone.
Yeah, it says it's a singer, but isn't it more just like a musical instrument?
That's what I
Like-
thought too.
It's kind of weird. So yeah, like I said, this is the one I'm probably going with. But so it's like, you know, I like it well enough. It's definitely an oddball though, and I guess this is also a good time to bring up the fact that the final typing, it swapped.
It's the same three.
Yeah, it swapped
sectors.
Dark and Fighting with the Legends Arceus starters, but it still has Fire Ghost. So for some reason, we've just had a bunch of Fire Ghost types recently. Like we had Hisuian Typhlosion, we have this thing, and there's another Fire Ghost in this generation. And
We also had Alolan Marowak 2 gens back.
and Blacephalon, if we
Blacephalon.
count that, and then if we go a few more gens back, just Chandelure. So it's just one of the. It's like how, you know, we got two Grass Ghost families at the same time, and then,
Then another
we got
one in Gen
two
7.
more
Then
Grass
another
Ghosts.
one in Gen 8.
No, there
Yeah.
were two more in Gen 7.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, Decidueye and Delmas. I was just
Yeah.
thinking Delmas.
Now we have another Grass Ghost this gen.
It just kind of get obsessed with type combos for a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little weird. But anyway, yeah, I don't know if I have much more to say on this one. So then we have Quaxley, which to me was always kind of the plainest of the three. I don't dislike it, but it's just kind of eh. Do you have further thoughts?
I don't know. Like I said, I like ducks are my favorite animals, and I don't normally pick the water starters first. Like I usually have like a leaning towards the fire, but I'm like, you know, I kind of had like underdog syndrome with this thing where I'm like, oh, people don't like it that much, so maybe I'll go with it. And I think I still will be, but I'm not a huge fan of the evolutions. They're like fine. They're fine. Certainly don't dislike them. But
Yeah. So
I thought it was going to be like I did predict water fighting actually, but that's because I thought it was going to become like Popeye the Sailor Man.
I saw a lot of people say it was going to be like Don Quixote or something. Like, I don't even know really what that is. So like,
He's like a hero from some old like classic Spanish novel, I think.
okay. One thing I'll bring up, I want to point out a lot of just weirdness about the leak season because people are going to forget about this eventually.
Oh yeah.
So when the starters leaked, the first ones to show up, I'm pretty sure were the Sprigatito ones. Then we had like
Well, Crocolore came first.
okay, yeah, the Crocolore hiding behind the grass. Then we got clear images of the grass ones. Then we eventually got the final form of this one. It's like, all right, when are we getting Quaxley? And then there was just an image.
The leakers
of,
were like, they're coming up real soon.
yeah,
Here's a preview,
we got,
and they showed like the Pokedex images.
yeah, let me find. I'm sure it's in here somewhere. Maybe. Oh no, we're showing all the stuff.
I think I said.
Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, it's just we had this, so we had like these little party icons, and that was it for like a whole day. And we got all of like the late game, you know, like, well, there's no point in spoiler, the paradoxes. We got all of those in like very good high quality images before we got the fucking like third starter, and like how. So
Yeah, I don't know.
it was some pretty good shit. So to actually look at them properly, I don't know what the hell kind of name is Quaxwell. Like,
Maxwell is just like a person's name. Are there any other Pokemon
Yeah.
that are named after just Pokemon? Actually, I can think of at least one in this gen, but
like just named after a random person's name. I don't know.
well, any person's name. Like, I don't know. It depends.
There's probably some out there. I can't think of them at the moment, but this sure is a middle starter.
Yeah.
It's
I don't know if they'll ever overcome middle stage syndrome for starters, honestly. It's kind of like a design, what do you call it, restriction.
yeah.
But you do need something to bridge the gap between little cute mascot thingy and, like, you know, badass partner, like, fully grown thing, so.
So, yeah, this thing's just kind of whatever. Then we have Quackwaval. It's supposed to be Carnival, right? Like,
Yeah. So I think it's Quackball.
there's probably a better image than this somewhere.
That definitely has what I look for.
But so yeah, there was a prominent stream of this game that went on for like 20 hours straight, where they had this as their starter, and so this thing is constantly grooving. It's like
It also has donk.
It does. It has a huge ass, and it's constantly
shaking it.
Yeah. It's very flamboyant. Here we go. So, I will say I don't consider this a bad thing. Like, it's a street performer. It's like
it's fanciful.
Yeah.
It represents what it's based on well. But, you know, this isn't quite the direction I was imagining it to go.
So yeah, without getting into, you know, potentially offensive territory, I will say that in the stream was done by basically a bunch of 4chaners. Like, the person playing
it was one
the
4chaner running it, and then
the audience.
The audience
so
was
basically people were really fucking like homophobic towards this thing.
Well, just and in general in the chat,
like,
just
like
constant, like, stupid spam.
It was pretty bad, but anyway, I like this one. It's, I would say, between the 3 final forms, like, God, even though I'm going with Skeledirge, I think that it might actually be my least favorite, but I don't know, it's hard to say. I think they're all solid this gen. Like,
Yeah.
Gen 8, I didn't really like any of them that much.
I don't dislike Gen 8s, but I don't really like Inteleon much, but
But I liked all 3 of Gen 7s, and I like all 3 of these, so. So, getting away from starters finally, we have Lechonk, which is, you know, the internet's fucking baby for some reason. At least it was when it first released.
I was gonna say, I feel like they calmed down.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure 95% of the reason why people like this thing is just because it has chonk in the name. And it's like, oh my god, heckin' chonker. It's a pig. And for some reason it has, like, gunk coming out of its eyes. I don't really get that.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
It's kind of gross.
It's like the shit that you get in your eyes when you wake up in the morning.
Yeah. Looking, like, I'm not even kidding. Looking at it is actually making me rub my eyes and, like, making me get shit out of it. So, yeah, every other gen has had, like, the Route 1 rodent. Like, it's not always, it's not a rodent specifically, but it's always, like, some sort of, like, small woodland creature, like, along those lines.
I would say that's fair.
This is, like, the first real deviation from that, where it's
we've got a lot of
mammal,
deviations from typical patterns this gen as well.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't really care about this thing very much. I also don't care about the evolutions very much.
I think most of the people that liked Lechonk kind of were disappointed by this.
I've actually seen a lot of love for these.
Oh, really? I have not. I thought people universally disliked this thing.
I don't know. People just seem to like pigs. But yeah, so Oinkalone
I believe the thing in the
difference.
front is actually the male.
Yeah, I think it is. They have different tails. Like, the coloration is a little different. That. But yeah, the one with, like, the little
it's like a perfume pump, right? In the front one. What's the back one?
Oh, I guess it is. I don't know what the back one is. It's like I was gonna say it's like a feather duster, but I don't think. Maybe it's like a makeup brush.
Maybe. Yeah, because these things are based on like scents and fucking pheromones coming out of the anal glands or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, I think like so. This isn't just a visual change. They actually do have different stats.
Very slightly.
Yeah, where are they? It's a oh.
It doesn't show it there. Let me get my.
I will mention there was a better paste bin that had everything, broken down with different forms, and it had abilities and movesets, and it got fucking deleted because somebody like tattled. Really?
I don't have the exact numbers, and I also don't know which one's which. But one of them is a little bit more of a straight physical. Oh,
I have them here. Yeah, the stat spread is just a little different, and they also have one ability different. Both of them are aroma based.
Yeah.
So, yeah, probably not anything I'm gonna use, but they're fine, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're getting into
when it evolves, which you don't seem to have in your sheet.
What's that?
It's normal fairy when it evolves, which you don't seem to have in your sheet.
Really?
Yeah. Wait, what? Where the fuck did I get normal fairy from? What the hell?
Yeah, I thought I knew all the types.
I had seen this thing marked as normal fairy. Let me check a different source again.
I have not.
Yay! I was lied to. Hooray!
All right.
No, it seems like everywhere has been corrected now. That's really weird. Why did people say it was normal fairy?
I don't know. So getting into early bug types, here we have Tarantula. This
is arguably the like main bug of the gen.
It's the only one that doesn't get a secondary type.
Yeah, like all the bugs are pretty early, but none of them are three stages.
Well, I think Relor is only in the desert. I don't know how far from the start that is, but
Ku said that all the bugs were early on.
Oh,
should we explain Ku?
He's an asshole. No, I don't know.
I think he's Chinese, or at least works with the Chinese like end of Pokemon's dealings because he was always
he's constantly he basically leaked all of the Pokedex like what was it like 5 months ago? It was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
Basically, like everything was kind of eked out a little bit with like like we have spider, dung beetle, cricket, or grasshopper or whatever, and it's like we get this very basic description, and then he would post like an emoji to hint towards.
Well, sometimes he wouldn't even say. Well, sometimes he wouldn't even say what the thing was. People had to work it out.
Yeah,
from the itself.
It was a lot of back and forth where he was being as
Chinese
cryptic as possible, and yeah. But
I think he was at least forthcoming enough to, if people got a correct guess, he'd be like, "Yes, that's it." Because I did see a bunch of stuff where it's like we have had this guess confirmed and stuff, so he would at least do that. But yeah, a lot of people really hated him because they're like, "Dude, if you have the info, just fucking dump it."
Yeah, and let's not forget that the returning Pokemon were basically gathered from like what was it, like a screenshot. He like took a photo of his like computer desktop with like a thumbnail of like all of the Pokemon's types arranged in National Dex order, and then like painted over half of it, and it was like, here you go, have fun. And people had to decode this to like figure out.
I wish we had the image so you can see how fucking awful it was. But I saw it like once, and I'm like, man.
But anyway, as far as this thing goes, I don't really have too many strong feelings on it one way or the other. It's fine. I did see very early on in the stream one of these like dangling from a tree. So I kind of appreciate the fact that not everything is just standing around in the field. Like some of them interact with the environment a bit.
Yeah.
Then we have Spidops, which every time I hear this name, I think of fucking Rick and Morty Get Swifty with "I'm Mr. Bulldops." But
makes me think of Special Ops. Which I'll not be explaining. This thing reminds me of like, a crusty old New York like car mechanic.
Kinda. I was almost thinking like Orca from Wind Waker.
I can kind of see that. Yeah, this thing has like a fucking spool of thread for an ass, and It has some move that I think is they keep adding like clones of Protect that do an extra thing, like Baneful Bunker and Spiky Shield and shit like that.
Mm.
This one is basically it gets I can't remember what the move is called, but it's basically Protect plus Sticky Web, where if you make contact, you get the effects of having landed on Sticky Web and your speed goes down.
Okay. Yeah. I will say, like, I feel like I'm being kind of negative towards a lot of these, but it's kind of just the early game stuff.
There's a lot of weird shit.
This is one of my favorite gens so far. I think
Gen
there's
8
a lot
played
of
it
really cool
safe.
stuff in it.
If Gen 8 played it safe, this is closer to Gen 7 with like going with more off the wall, like variant ideas.
So we got Nimble. So
I like this size.
I remember when like, you know, before everything actually started getting images, I heard of this and its evolution is described as grasshoppers at first, but then everybody started calling them the common rider Pokemon, and it's like, I don't really get why.
There was a random tweet. I think what happened is there was a random tweet like in Ku's replies where someone was like, I still want them to make a bug fighting common rider Pokemon, and he's like, well, wrong type, but they are basically doing that, and then people figured it out from that.
I see. But yeah, pretty standard bug type. It's not a bad design. It has like kind of this weird shape on it, which we'll see more with the evolution. So
yeah, it has like a fucking Swiss Army knife.
So with low kicks, if you have another image of this one, go ahead and link it, because I know this thing has like this is it, like
the anatomy is kind of confusing.
Yeah, so it's got like these legs that are kind of like Swiss Army knives, where these little bladed sections kind of like
it's not the legs,
out.
It's like things attached to the back of the butt.
Well, it's a set of legs, right? Because it has 2 arms and 4 legs.
I guess that's what it is, yeah.
But yeah, either way, these little bladed things aren't always extended like that. They kind of like pop out when it like does certain moves, I think.
I sent the picture.
Okay, so this is our first Bug Dark.
Yep.
Amazing that it took this long to get one. I think before this gen started, there were like 14 dual types that hadn't been used, and we got 7 of them, something like that. And most of the ones that we're still missing are like normal ice, normal rock,
normal bug.
Yeah, normal steel.
Yeah.
So you like this thing quite a bit, right?
Well, I like it. What happened? I picked this thing before seeing it because I am not a Kamen Rider fan, but for whatever reason, I just thought I assumed this thing would probably look cool. I'm like, yeah, Bug Dog, I'd like to use that. Kamen Rider, that seems cool. I could probably, yeah. I don't know. I just liked the idea of it, and then seeing it, I'm like, I imagined it slightly different, but it's fine. It's not bad. I do like it.
I will say, in the pre-Gen 5 leak season, Pawniard Bisharp were also referred to as like Power Rangers or Kamen Rider.
Yeah.
But anyway, so next up we've got Pawmi, and now that you've seen this image, you've seen the whole family. But, so
this thing confuses me. It's a Pika clone that evolves, but it probably shouldn't.
So I've been so obsessed with Pokemon stuff lately. It's like all I've been really looking at or like wanting to talk about for the last couple days, and it's like very difficult because Joel doesn't want spoilers on any of the new stuff, and so like anytime
tell him like one thing.
Anytime that like we're talking about stuff, like we were playing FF14 one night, and I had just the Discord chat for like the leak place open, and like all the fucking paradoxes were coming out, and I'm like, oh my god, that thing's awesome. I'm like, oh, fuck, I need to stop doing that. Like, but yesterday I was kind of like, talking about some stuff, and I'm just like, I don't want to give any details, but I feel like this is the first generation since Gen 1 where we've had evolutions that really are just, they get slightly bigger, or like, get angry eyes in the way that like Poliwhirl did. Because, yeah. So, before we even get into that, Pawmi on its own, it's a Pika clone. I like it well enough. It's cute. It's if it didn't evolve, there's no way I would ever use this. The fact that it does, even though the evolutions are so lame, I like the typing. I might use it anyway. So
people have been asking for an electric fighting for a while.
So we have Pawmi, then we have Pawmo, where it just stands up. It's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with this one.
Like, the arms are a little bigger, it has an extra color there, expression changes, the hair's a little poofier. Like, it does change, but it's so minor.
I don't find this one as offensive as this into the next one. And so I'll just open that one right now. So Pawmot. It's the same fucking thing. It just put on a different beard and mustache. Like
it has even floofier hair and like a collar.
Like where's the?
And that's it.
We'll look at the shinies just because they're side by side. Oh god damn it, they aren't. They're on opposite sides of the picture, up here and down there. So yeah, it's like when I let me think how to explain this. We knew this was a 3-stage line. When this one leaked, I'm just like, is this the final form? Because they said that it was supposed to just be 2 pure electrics and then an electric fighting. And then I'm like, okay, so we didn't actually get the middle one. But then I saw that the Pokedex numbers didn't line up. And I'm like, what? And then I, like, on this website, there was, like, do they have the original picture on here? No, I don't think they do. But
it was like a shitty blurry picture.
Yeah, and so I compared that to this one, and I'm like, are these different? I can't tell. They're so fucking similar. Like, I don't understand why they'd made this thing. Like,
they didn't need to pad the gen out as well. Like, they have a lot of stuff.
I fully believe the middle form should have been scrapped. There is no reason for it to exist. Like, if they had wanted to keep the middle form pure electric and change up the last one a little bit more, then fine. But as it is right now, there's no reason for them to both exist. Mm-hmm. Like, it's really weird. Oops, I didn't mean to close that.
You can like right click the plus. Reopen close tab.
Oh, okay. But anyway, as much bitching as I did, like I said, I still like them, reasonably well. I just wish there weren't 2 of them, but like, who cares? It's Fire Emblem and Smash situation. It's like, individually they're fine. It's just there's too many of them. So
they don't interest me that much.
Yeah,
they're fine.
So we have Paldean Wooper, which is surprisingly one of only 2.
Yeah, it's also one of the few things they showed off.
Oh, it's not on this page.
Oh, it's under probably under forms or something.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll find it on here.
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah. In Gen 6, I feel like they revealed most of the decks, and then in Gen 7, they revealed, like, almost all of it. There was, like, barely anything left for Data Miners, other than, like, the Ultra Beast and, like, a couple families here and there. And then in Gen 8, they massively, like, laid off, and then even more so in this gen, I would say.
Yeah, I think they revealed a good amount of stuff this time. So, yeah, there's only 2 or 4, depending on how you look at it, regional forms, and yeah, this one's fine. I always liked Wooper. I think I still actually prefer the original over this one, but this one's not bad. Poison Ground is a typing that we've actually only ever gotten with Nidoking and Nidoqueen, yeah. So it's kind of neat. It's very like I see this thing fitting in with like Krogunk.
Yeah. Just a little bog dweller.
Yeah. And so it does not evolve into Paldean Quagsire. Instead, we have Clodsire, which I probably
enjoyed
an official.
Enjoyed the weird censorship on the Makivo site.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
So it has a great face.
This thing is a water dumple from Pikmin. I kind of love Clodsire. like I'm gonna say this for most things because like I don't know what my team composition is going to be in this game. I feel like I'm gonna use like fucking 20 different things. I'll at least try them out and then maybe just drop them if they're not working as much as I want them to. But I do like this thing quite a bit, and I've always liked Wooper and Quagsire.
I don't know if it's based on something different from regular Quagsire or not. I don't know what it is.
Not sure, but it's just kind of a big blob thing, and that's all it needs to be. It's
Were you gonna say something else about it?
not really. I've heard that this thing is like its stats are like fucking insane or something. Like,
Really, huh?
let me look at it. That could be full of shit. Because I doubt that the actual total is that high. Maybe it just has like a.
It's really min-maxed, maybe.
Where is it on here? No, it's.
It does not look particularly insane.
No, it doesn't. Let's see.
It's a little more min-maxed than Quagsire. Quagsire is quite balanced.
Yeah,
Whereas
most of its stats are pretty low. It's just HP and SPDF.
Mm-hmm.
I guess in Trick Room that's a good speed, and then maybe it's just the Unaware. I don't know, like because regular Quagsire has that anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just one person was like really excited for it. I thought I remember people like.
I
freaking out
certainly
over this
never heard
thing.
anything about this.
But yeah, not sure. Either way, it's cool. Now we have some really weird ones, and I love these. So Tandemouse.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Hello Kitty mouse, but there's two of them. And I guess
Two of them. There are two of them.
so. Interestingly enough, this one leaked as an image in like an actual trailer.
Yeah.
You could see it on the mini map along with these two. But yeah, this is a weird one. Like I don't really know why it's two Pokemon as counting as one. Like it's
last gen they had Phalanx, which I think was a really popular Pokemon. It's my favorite Gen 8, but I think lots of other people like it as well. So maybe they were like, oh shit, we should do more weird things that are just like several things. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw someone basically complaining that like we had stuff like Execute, which is like they kind of operate as a hive mind. Phalanx is kind of pushing it, but they like they're like a unit. Here it's just like
It's just
they described themselves as like the trainer is the third wheel in their relationship. like it's like should I be interrupting their family life? Like,
Okay.
but I don't know. I still kind of love this thing.
And then
yeah, then its evolution is just now there's more of them. There's
you either have 3 or 4.
Yeah, family of 3 or family of 4. I don't know what determines this. Apparently, some people are saying it might have to do with like the move double hit. I don't know if it's like if you have it learned or if you use it a certain number of times. I don't know if that's true. But
this thing, if I recall, gets 2 different signature moves.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, hang on, let me see. One of them is Tidy Up, which is basically the secondary effect of Rapid Spin, and then you also get Dragon Dance on top of that. So it removes entry hazards and then boosts your attack and speed. And then if that wasn't enough, they also have a move called what the hell is it? It's like Population Bomb. I don't have the power on here. I swear I read that this thing that it was like 40 power, which is insane, but it's a multi-hit move that hits 1 to 10 times.
1 to 10.
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find it.
There's no fucking way this thing is actually 40 power, but it's certainly not going to be any higher than that. And guess what? These things have Technician as a hidden ability. So I actually foresee these things being insane, like in the meta. It doesn't have the power, but yeah, 1 to 10 times.
Damn. So I'm pretty sure I want to use this. I will point out on this website, like this spreadsheet, at one point it actually said that I still haven't said the evolution's name, Mousehold. That is such a fucking good name.
It's amazing.
But they said that Mousehold actually had parental bond.
It doesn't.
I know. Like, if it didn't have the like super fucking cracked moves that you just described, parental bond, I think, on a relatively middling Pokemon would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because like it made Kangaskhan broken, but here I think it's like they could work around it, make it not completely overpowered. But yeah, I don't know. I like this thing. I like any Pokemon that's just really out there. Like that was why I like Phalanx.
It was as soon as I heard that there was a Pokemon that just is a family of mice, I'm like, I have to use this. I liked Phalanx last gen. I have to use it. And then I kind of briefly wanted to change my mind. I'm still not completely decided, but after reading about its crazy moves, I'm like, I kind of have to use this thing.
Yeah.
Mostly my issue is just I really have one special attacker, but yeah.
So, we got Fido next. This thing's already been shown off, so don't have to go too in depth on it. But this is another one of the internet's, precious puppers.
Yep.
It is pretty cute. I don't like dogs that much. I always like cats more, but I have to admit, this is, it does what it's supposed to do very well.
I do like how fairy has become the unofficial type of food.
Yeah.
Or at least of sweets. Because we have this, we have Alcremie, and we have the Slurpuff. Yeah.
Right.
I think of the others.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't attach fairy to Vanillux.
Yeah, seriously.
But yeah, pure fairy. It's it's the first dog and certainly not the last one we're going to be seeing.
Yeah, this gen is full of dogs and birds for some reason.
It really is. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to use this one, but it's fine.
I will not be.
And then we have Doxbun. I
Yeah.
hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Probably.
I swear I saw like
It gets baked, Alhamdulillah.
what?
He has been baked, Alhamdulillah.
I don't know what you're saying.
It's fine. It's just to me.
Do we know if there's any other images of this one? Because this one, it's kind of a long boy because it's supposed to be a dachshund.
Is
You
it
can't
that long?
really
I
you
thought it
can't really
actually
tell
was
from the
long.
front. Like it's not like comedically long, but it's got a fairly long body.
I have its Pokedex image where you can kind of see it from the side a bit more.
The weird thing about this one is, yeah, there we go. I swear, like on the Gen 9 Dex site, there was fan art before this thing leaked that is just fucking identical to what it actually looks
yeah,
like.
It was. It was very, very
Like,
similar.
there's no way it's still on here, right?
No.
I'm looking.
No shot.
Yeah, I think this is a new one.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was like spot on. I don't know how they did that.
They just baked the original one.
Apparently. God, juggling so many fucking tabs here.
I know.
So, yeah, like I said, solid design. Probably not one I'm going to care about too much, but it's fine. What do we got next? Smoliv, which, yeah.
Also officially revealed.
Yeah.
People
I
also
don't...
latch to this thing because it's small and cute and has like an anxious expression and also has the word small in it. So
It has the, like, Sugimori artwork Azurill face going on where it looks like it's about to be murdered. Like,
yeah.
I don't get why this is grass normal. Speaking of Azurill,
Beats
like
me.
things that are part normal for no reason, they've just kind of been doing that a lot in the last couple gens. Yeah, it's whatever. I don't think I like this one that much.
Yeah.
Then we have Doliv, which was yep. We still have an ancient photo, which
Boy.
it's good enough, but
Yeah.
yeah, this was one of the first ones to actually get leaked. It's
And that's the shiny.
this is kind of like Lilligant Light.
Yeah.
It's there, like a lot of generations just kind of have like the grass waifu, and this is basically that because the final form isn't.
Yeah, it like starts to go in that direction, and it's like, looking a bit crowded over there. Let me go for something different.
Yeah, this one's it's fine. I don't really have much else to say on it. Then This one went without a name for so long because the
And then
screenshot
people
of it was
mistakenly attributed
yeah,
it to
like
a Pokemon that had nothing to do with it.
yeah. So the first image of this came out. It was nicknamed Azalea, and people are like, "That's not the real name, right?" And they're like, "No, they just nicknamed it." Okay, well, what's the real name? I don't know. And then like a day passed, and then this name slightly. I think it was like Arbolova. There was Arbolova and there was Arbolivia.
And, oh yeah, there was this phase where
like,
people are like, "Oh
yeah,
yeah, there's two different."
One of
Pokemon
them was attributed to Frigibax for some reason, and then like one of them was like consistently like spelled wrong. But anyway,
So
here it is. Yeah, here's Azalea. Yep, it's kind of a tree. It's like
Yeah, it's still got a little bit of that kind of feminine, like grass waifu element to it, but it's a lot more toned down.
I wonder if they actually forced this one female only because they shouldn't, but they do that with a lot of stuff like Petalil and
Right.
like
The Hatterene and stuff.
yeah. Yeah, as far like I usually like the grass Pokemon that are of this ilk. This one I don't think I care about as much. I'm probably gonna pass on it, but it's fine. And then we have yeah, Squawkabilly is like a fucking S rank name. Like that is such a fucking good name. Like I think that's pretty much all this one has going for it though. It's another one that leaked from that like trailer that just showed up on the mini map. It's
I'm
just
surprised Cerebi has this on his site,
Pompadour
considering
bird.
considering his policy on leaks.
It was in an official trailer.
Still,
Yeah. Does this thing have anything interesting going on? Let's see.
I feel like I heard that the colors do something. Yeah, here you go. It changes the ability you get.
Yeah, well, the hidden ability specifically.
Ability.
Stat wise, it's
I could have sworn there was something else that it did. Oh.
well. Here's a rare, attack and special defense Pokemon.
No, that's at 92 is the speed.
What? Oh, because this is never mind. Okay. Yeah, I'm dumb. Clearly this thing has 417 speed, but okay, so yeah, I guess it's just a physical attacker, and it's like a step above Farfetch'd, but nothing amazing.
I was hoping the variants would be like slightly different hairstyles, but nope, they're all rocking the door.
Right. They all just look like the Fonz.
Hey.
Yeah, I think there's only 4 colors. It's white, yellow, green, blue. I have a very shitty picture of the other ones here. I don't have any reason to show this one.
Yeah, this is the replacement for Corviknight. Ferrying around, instead of fly.
Oh, that I actually didn't know.
Yeah, it's the flying taxi. It's the fast travel.
So, yeah, I think that's about it for that one. This one seems to be a fan favorite for a lot of people, actually.
Oh, is it? Fortune fucking hates this thing because they're like,
really? You went dead. What? Editing. Okay, internet crisis averted. So,
did you catch what I said?
you said that 4chan hated this, and then I didn't hear your reason why.
Oh, they're like, it's so cringe that they're letting Zoomers on the Pokemon team design base Pokemon off of Minecraft. Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, I'm serious. They really hate this thing.
God.
From what I've seen, anyway.
I mean, I guess that checks out with how GameFAQs hates when Steve got into Smash because Minecraft is for 2-year-olds.
It's so weird. That game is over 10 years old. There's plenty of people who are adults who played that game as a kid.
Yeah,
what?
I don't get it. Anyway, so Nacli, NaCl is sodium chloride. Kind of an interesting name. Then, yeah. So this thing again.
I don't know why it looks like a mushroom.
Yeah, this is the last of the ones that leaked in that trailer. At first, when I saw this thing, I thought it was like a house. I'm like, I didn't even register this as a Pokemon. This was like a rest stop. But Yeah, it's a Mario mushroom, or like the one that would turn you into the rock in like Galaxy 2. But I
Yeah.
kind of like it. I have a weird thing for pure rock types because like we didn't really get what I would consider a normal non like we had Sudowoodo when we had Cranidos, and then we didn't get
And
like
those
a
bars.
yeah. We didn't really get like a Geodude esque family of pure rock types until Gen 5. And so to me it's always like a rare typing, even though it really isn't. And I something about them just kinda stands out to me for whatever reason. And I like this one pretty well. The evolutions are a bit funky. So yeah, this is where the Minecraft comes in.
Very much so.
I don't know if that was intentional. God, this image is shitty. Um, do we have a... Let me look at the shiny one. It's right here. Whatever. So yeah. I loved when when the Gen 9 Pokedex site had this one. It had the picture of Neckley, and then for the second form it just had like a Minecraft salt block. And then for the final evolution it just had like a person with like a salt shaker skin. It was fucking great. Like,
Yeah.
um, so this one's definitely middle stage syndrome. I don't have much to say about it. This is actually my contribution to the leak season was this image because I screenshotted this from the stream and like
Uh,
it was the best picture we had of it at the time.
oh, is that Arvin in the background using it?
I don't fucking know. I don't know the trainers at all. But yeah, so we have Knackley, Knacklestack, and Garganackle. I've seen people describe this one as just the desert temple. I think they're pretty cool.
Yeah, kind of. Pile of salt.
Yeah. Do we know if they have any weird gimmick to them or anything?
Its ability, yeah, purifying salt. I know it makes them resist ghost moves, and I think it also makes them immune to status conditions, which is like really strong. I might like it said it resists them, so maybe they're just less likely to be afflicted or something.
Let me see in the ability descriptions.
You don't have to go there. There's on the thing you're looking at with the like this the Google Sheets thing. There's like other tabs, and there's one for
Okay.
abilities.
Let's see. Protects us from status conditions. Has the
I guess-
damage taken from ghost type moves.
So yeah, no status conditions and resist ghost. But we missed some other stuff here, like Darkspin is immune to fire.
Apparently, fucking Oinkalone has mummy.
Yeah, it does.
I didn't realize that.
Yep.
Okay. All right then. I don't know why the ghost resistance, but yeah, it's
Oh, because of like circles of salt that
okay.
protect you against spirits and stuff.
All right. So that's those. Then we have our first of the like evolutions of new things, and
Yeah, we had a
Annihilate
weird
is,
journey here. I just want to give a bit of a history here. So, like, we had Gen 1. Gen 2 added a bunch of Evos and Prevos. Gen 3 dialed it back. Gen 4 went way ham with it. And then I think as a response to that, they stopped doing it in Gen 5. There was only one in Gen 6, none in Gen 7, but there were the regional forms. Gen 8 kind of, like, the Gala games had, like, the regional forms and regional evolutions. And then
Legends
Arceus
Yeah.
brought in it had two just straight up evolutions, which are Weirder and Ursaluna, and then they just kind of have gone back to adding
Cleavor
evolution.
too.
That's right. Yeah, I always forget about Cleavor because it's just a branch.
Right.
But yeah, so and then now in Gen 9 they've just gone back to we'll add the evolutions again.
Yep. So we have Pokemon number 1010 in the national
This is
dex. It's the final Pokemon because the ordering is terrible. But anyway, so here's Annihilate. I think nobody knows how to get this yet.
Mm. Yeah, it's oh wait, no, it's fuck, I read this earlier.
Hold on, let me see. There was
I think Centro has a post about it.
These I don't know what that is.
Damn it.
Yeah, not sure.
I swear,
I've seen evolution methods for a lot of the other stuff, but I don't know if anybody knows this one yet. If you can find it, I guess that you can let me know. But
this thing is based on, in Gen 7, they had a dex entry for Primeape that said, like, sometimes it gets so angry it dies. And people found this really funny.
because it's fucking great.
It is great, yeah.
Like-
And I think this is just, they're like, oh, people like that, huh? Let's make that a thing.
Probably.
I guess we don't know the Evo method. I thought I saw something about that.
So, yep, this thing, fighting Ghost, we've only had one of those before, and it was a mythical, so it's kind of neat to see that again.
Maybe you have to die with maxed out attack. That'd be good.
I was thinking, like, you know, because it's supposed to die when it gets, like, so angry. It has an ability, like, Anger Point, where, like, it triggers when it gets hit with a critical hit. I'm like, they could do something with that, but then it would be, like, it wouldn't be impossible to get in older games, and they usually try to avoid that.
Oh, not anymore. They kind of stopped caring about that in Gen 8.
Like, I know that they retroactively allowed, like, stones for, like, Leafeon and Vikavolt and stuff, but I think everything else still requires, like, a new method.
I don't know.
Anyway. So, here's Charcadet. This one was, this was another cryptid. As we can see here, it was another thing that showed up in a trailer, and it had, like, you know, you could see 2 pixels of it.
This thing was so good.
This thing took a long time to actually get a good photo of. But yeah, this thing's just,
Charcadet.
it's a little Mega Man Knight thing. It's fine, I guess. And then it has a split evolution, and we've seen both of those already, and one of them is a fan favorite. The other one people don't seem to care about as much, but...
There was actually a poll on the Pokemon YouTube thing. They made a community post saying, which one do you prefer between Armarouge and Ceruledge? And it was 20% Armarouge and 80% Ceruledge.
Nice. I do like Ceruledge better, but I think...
It's so edgy.
I think if I'm going to use either of them, I would probably use Armarouge just because it's the underdog, and because I'm going to be using a Fire Ghost type anyway. I don't need fucking 2 of them. But,
yeah.
Plus, I assume it's a special attacker, and Ceruledge is physical.
That's right. Armarouge is special attack, physical defense. Ceruledge is physical attack, special defense.
Anytime anything has a high physical attack and special defense specifically, my mind always goes to, like, oh, that would partner well with Cherim. Because that's such a fucking like stupid, obscure ability. Like, why does it boost those 2 stats? Anyway, yeah, I think these are pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
There's
a weird thing with these where, like, the evolution method was said to be, like... Well, first we were just told if you knock out 10 Bronzor with Charcadet, you get Armarouge, and if you do it with Sinistea, you get Ceruledge. That's not quite correct. It's more like when you would knock out a Bronzor, you get, like, a Bronzor shard, and the similar thing for Sinistea. I assume it's, like, a chip piece of the cup or something.
Yeah, because every Pokemon has, like, a random item they drop that you can turn in for, is it TMs?
Well, you can do crafting, basically, to create...
I haven't really seen much of that.
Stuff.
But
here's the problem: is I've seen claims that people have found both Bronzor and Sinistea in the same version.
Man, I'm not convinced this game has version exclusives. None of the new Pokemon, other than the Paradoxes and arguably these, are exclusives.
Like the website does claim some stuff about older Pokemon. Like, I think Larvitar is exclusive to Scarlet, while
because Tyranitar and what's the other pseudo? Tyranitar and Salamence have paradoxes that appear in the game that their other, like, that their main form doesn't, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
I know that Ice-Q and Stonejourner are supposed to be exclusives, and I haven't heard of, like, anything else.
Yeah.
It's weird. But either way, yeah, so apparently... I think these are, like, soft exclusives in the way that, like, Applin and Appleton were, or Flapple and Appleton. Not exactly sure. Either way, these are neat.
I like them. I'm going to be using a Ceruledge.
because you're an edgelord.
I know a lot.
Yeah, except you're not. But I mean,
I dabble in edgelord aesthetics sometimes.
Yeah. So, Tadbulb got this face. Oh my god.
I predicted this thing was going to be called Tadbolt, which is not too far off.
This is possibly the most simplistic design so far. I don't really have anything to say about this one.
It sure is. What? I mean, yeah, electric type tadpole. This is probably. What the fuck is this trend of like Ella squirrel, Ella tadpole?
Oh my god, I didn't even notice that.
I've seen it with other stuff too.
Yeah, and then it evolves into Bellybolt, which I will take the time now to say that I fucking hate the VTuber gym leader. But also, I think this design is great.
Why is it a triangle?
Well, I don't know.
It's like the whole thing is
it's
just
like
a rounded
It's
triangle.
like a gumdrop, but yeah, I love how the yellow dots are the eyes, and these are just fake.
Yeah, they've done this fake eye shit like 5 times, and it's always pretty good.
Yeah, I love this thing's design. The only problem is that it's pure electric, because people were expecting it to be part psychic, and I'm like, hell yeah, I'm going to use an electric psychic. I didn't use a Lilin Raichu, but I'm going to use this thing. And nope, pure electric.
Yeah,
so
it's a shame.
Like, it's still fine, but between this, Pawmot, and Kilowattrel, I think this is the one that I like the least.
Oh really? Okay. I'm not using it, but I do like it well enough.
Yeah.
Whenever something is prominently shown as being like the signature Pokemon of a certain gym leader or something, I'm always less likely to use it because I'm like, well, I don't want to copy that.
So, as for Wattrel here, this one has a storied history.
Yeah.
So let's just go ahead and look at the normal picture.
I like
here.
its face.
Yeah. I keep reading this yellow like chin band as like the part of the beak, and it's like open and like wow, but that's not like
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a bird. This is like okay. So if we count Quaxley, which we probably shouldn't, but if we count Quaxley, there are 6 new bird families this generation.
I think this is supposed to be the regional bird, even though it doesn't start as normal flying.
Yeah,
This one's the most
it's the most normal one, I think. Like,
which is
even though Squawkabilly is actually normal, like that one, that's more the chat out of the region. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Chat out, Farfetch, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so this one's kind of whatever. I will say this one was originally described as being a seagull.
Yeah, because I guess
it does have webbed feet. Now that I look at it,
it's you can see there it says Storm Petrel. It's a petrel, which is a kind of bird, and then Kilowattrel is something called a frigate bird, which is like one of the fastest birds ever, and it's a type of seabird similar to an albatross.
All right. Before we look at Kilowattrel, I need to look at the history. Fake. Yeah, the fake was so good.
Because it's so similar. Bird.
What is this? Oh. Okay, so yeah, this was all. Where the hell did it go? Okay, I got it here. So all this stuff was being posted onto the I just call it the Dunsparce group. This is it's just, is it Origin Palkia? Is that the guy's name? Or Pearl Enthusiast? Anyway, yeah, so this thing got posted, and I'm just like this thing shows up, and people are like, "Which one is this?" Like, this doesn't look like any of the birds that have been described. There's no way this is the seagull, right? Like, maybe okay, and then it was determined that this was just like a stock model from some random like 3D resource website. And it was fake, and then the actual picture got released, and it's like, oh, it's just the same fucking thing anyway. Like,
Let me see if I can find the original.
I don't know why somebody faked this and how it turned out to be like the same fucking design anyway. And it was within like a few minutes.
Yup.
Like here's 10:34. This one was okay. Yeah, it was like 45 minutes. Like what the fuck?
Oh man, I don't have the image. Somebody found out that if you just Googled like low poly.
Yeah, no, I mean I've seen that image before. I think it's in our chat history, but
okay. I wanted to show on the video, but I can't find it.
Yeah, I don't know. It was some good shit though. So that's the story with that one. Then Kilowatt Roll is you could say it's more of the same. I like it.
I like it too. I'm going to be using it.
Like I don't love it, but I think it's pretty good. How many electric flyings have we had that aren't legendaries? Is it only a Mulga?
I think it's just a Mulga, yeah. Oh, and Fan Rotom if you want to count that.
Oh, yeah. But yeah. Decent, average, but solid design, I guess. Oh boy. Okay, so Dunsparce. So, before I show this one, I will say that it was mentioned in the leaks. Like, people were, asking, like, what's the Dunsparce evolution? Because people have been waiting for this thing for forever, and, everybody has these grand ideas of what it's going to look like. And Ku is just like, it basically just kind of gets bigger. It's not really changed. And people were in denial of this. And then we get the actual picture of it, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, it gets, like, a little spike beard. It's a little longer. The tail is different.
It has like a symbol under its belly, I think. But yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Basically, it's just it's kind of hilarious because they take Dunsparce and then they just take its middle segment and duplicate it,
copy paste,
and it fits the name because it's Dunsparce. Like, and the Japanese name apparently kind of does that too. I think is it Nokochi is the original
Is it Nokokochi?
Name? Maybe.
I see.
But so yeah, so this is the 2-segment form. There's also the 3-segment form, which is exactly what you'd expect.
Why did they bother with this? Like, just do this. Just have this be the Evo.
Yeah,
if you're gonna...
I still don't know what the deal is with these. There was like some info on it in the server. Let me see if I can find it again. It was it involves with the move Hyper Drill potentially. It just says form is determined upon evolution. Like
it's like a personality value thing, like Silcoon Cascade,
or like fucking Toxtricity maybe. That's kind of lame.
The Toxtricity one's at least predictable because it's nature based.
Yeah. I don't know. It's really weird. I don't get why there's 2 of them. Like, very bizarre. I will say that I kind of don't mind this thing. I definitely prefer the 3-segment over the 2. The 2 form didn't really need to exist, but
I don't know why Dunsparce needed an Evo in the first place, to be honest. I think it was fine as it was, but
I'm glad that if it got one, it's as stupid as this, though. Like,
yeah,
because I like Dunsparce. I've actually used it a couple times. I don't know if I'll use this one just because I don't want to like I said, I've already used Dunsparce a couple times as it is. But everybody who wants it to turn into like this big dragon thing, like, no, this thing is supposed to be derpy as hell. Like, this is a perfect evolution for it.
Yeah. Just maybe the 2-segment form didn't need to exist.
Yeah. So, next up we've got, I always want to call this thing Farigiraf, even though I think it's supposed to be, like, Farigiraf, but then it sounds like fridge. Yeah. But yeah. It's definitely a different take from what I was expecting.
If the previous one, if the Dunsparce thing was like they took the middle segment and copy pasted, this is they took the middle segment and they did the thing where they like shrink the width and then keep going so it like flips past the center line and like overlays with the other part.
Yeah. Like those stupid trumpet videos.
Yes.
So yeah, I feel like everybody who had an imagined Girafarig evolution just expected the back end to turn into something like more sinister or like, like basically just kind of another non-chain chomp head, kind of like how the beta Girafarig was mostly just kind of like two normal heads. Oh no, that was its pre-evolution.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went from two ghosts into just Girafarig, but both heads are normal.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what that was beta Girafarig. That wasn't its Evo, unless that's what you said. I'm just
I said it was the beta.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, so this one, yeah, they kind of just put the tail head over the main one, and it's like, it's weird. I kind of like it.
I like it. It looks like a hoodie.
Yeah.
So I saw rumors this thing was going to become pure psychic because like now there's not the two halves of it anymore. But nope.
So I was bitching earlier about how many fire ghosts and grass ghosts we have. We have a shit ton of normal psychics too. We've got Girafarig and now this.
Indeed.
We have Meloetta, Oranguru, Indeedee, Weirdeer. Did I miss any? There's so many of them. But yeah, whatever. It's fine, I guess. Wiglet, it's very minor thing to point out, but I will say this is like the one thing on this list I don't actually have a regional dex number for, and it kind of annoys me. I couldn't find any pictures of its dex entry.
We'll know in due time.
Yeah. So I like Wiglet.
This thing is great. It's I love this idea of in case you haven't been following the like what would you call it, the pre-release of this game.
Which if you haven't, I don't know why the hell you're watching this.
Yeah, but maybe you wanted to get it all in one go. I don't know. But in case you missed this one, like I think actually Nick missed this one initially, didn't she? Anyway, this is not related to Diglett. It is a completely unrelated Pokemon that just looks similar.
It happened to evolve into something that looks like Diglett. Yeah,
it's based on convergent evolution, which is a thing in real life. It's why things keep turning into crabs.
Yeah.
It's just
yeah, Wiglet's pretty great. I love it. Well, I will say I love its design. The fact that it's...
I don't like that it has the same stats as Diglett.
Oh, does it?
Wugtrio has Dugtrio stats as well. It's literally just a water-type version. It's kind of lame in that way. And it has different abilities, but...
Gooey, Rattled. I don't remember what... Rattled is the one where it's like something with Bug, Dark, and Ghost moves. I don't remember.
I always get it confused with the thing that makes it so that the opposing Pokemon can't eat berries.
Yeah, what the fuck is Rattled? I don't even remember.
I don't know. I'm going to send you pictures of real garden eels because the audience needs to see these. These are fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And there's also a Wikipedia video. Let me see if I can get that to you. Then just kind of jiving.
Yeah. They're pretty good.
I don't know how I'd never seen these things before. Right?
I don't know if I have. I'm usually aware of weird sea creatures. But yeah, I don't know. That was a strange sentence. I don't know. I just
I'm usually aware of weird sea creatures.
I don't know. I have like a thing for just weird animals, but Anyway, yeah.
Okay, I know I need to get an image.
It's like, yeah, if it's like basically just Dugtrio but water, that's kind of lame.
What about these weird animals?
Wait. Why does Wiglet actually have worse stats? Wugtrio apparently is the same, but that's really weird. Oh, good.
I love this image.
What could this strange creature be?
Honey, that's a leaf.
So
yeah, rattled is when you get hit by a bug, dark, or ghost move, or when you like are affected by intimidate. Your speed goes up.
Yeah, there's like 15 abilities that got changed in Gen 8 to also activate when hit with Intimidate when they didn't originally.
It's supposed to be a counter to Intimidate.
It's really weird. But yeah, so Wugtrio, I will point out, it was said very early on that this thing was going to be called that, but I thought it was just like a fan name.
Oh no, who said that it's called Bug Trio?
Oh god.
I like that it's pink.
Yeah. It's also I guess it's less questionable than the regular Doug Trio because they're like coming out of this rock. They're not just coming out of the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I liked what they did here. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be passing over these just because, like, stat wise, they're not all that impressive, but they're cool additions nonetheless.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think like what could make them more interesting because like
a lot of people for some reason actually really dislike Wiglet and Wog Trio, and they're like, oh, they're so lazy.
Yeah, that's
and
stupid.
I'm like, if anything was lazy, it was the Alola one that just gave them hair.
I like this Dondozo here that totally looks like the actual Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah, I don't know. It's like Pure Water, it has so much competition. The ability... I don't remember what Gooey does.
I want to say it's just if you make contact, you lower speed.
Yeah. Like, regular Doug Trio, I think its claim to fame is
yeah.
you get it early in Gen 1. You use it for Lieutenant Surge, and then you keep it around. And, like, in later gens, Arena Trap is broken as hell. This thing's... I have a feeling this thing is not going to make much of a splash competitively, but I guess we'll see. Yeah, make a splash, like a tash, win some cash.
Yes.
So, here's our next dog family. This was the last of the ones to get shown, and...
there was a brief period where it was believed that this and maybe some other stuff might be fake.
Yeah, it's because... So, I've mentioned that the Dex order is complete dog shit.
Dog shit.
So, if we look at... if we look here, we have the Pokedex is progressing, like, in kind of a weird way where, like, these are, like, late game... Like, I don't know what this ordering is. I guess they're like grouping stuff by type, but also like not completely. Like here's the pseudos just kind of in the middle. And then we have all of the paradoxes, and then it goes from here to the sub-legends. Then we have 9899 are Koraidon Miraidon. And then we just kind of go back to regular Pokemon for a bit. And
do you want to know the best part? Is like there is a third legendary that's upcoming. It's we have some details about it, but it's not in the game.
It's gonna just be 1011 probably.
Yeah,
also,
but here's the thing: is there's another pair of legendary.
Yeah, there's a fucking gap. Because, like...
There's just gaps in the fucking dex numbers.
Yeah, in the middle
of
the
Why didn't they leave a gap to 1,000 for the fucking third legendary? At least make it something special.
So, yeah, here's how it goes. So we have the paradoxes here. 980 and 987 are missing. So here's the ancient ones. And then here's the future ones. They're not even at the end of each category. They're just kind of
or in a consistent place.
They're just kind of near the middle. Like, yeah,
it's between 2 and 3, and then between 1 and 2. Like, did they just copy paste it into some random part with their fucking hands covering their eyes? Like,
so there's this, and then there's the fact that we have Gimmighoul, which its whole identity is you have to get 999 coins. They could have made that 999, made Golden Go 1000. But they didn't do that either. I don't know what the fuck they did. It's the worst Pokedex order I've ever... Like, what is this?
There's a bunch of things that are happening in, like... there's already been a patch that they put out for reviewers from what the base game is.
Fucking patch the Dex order.
And there's also going to be another patch for day one. I'm kind of wondering if they are going to change the internal... Probably not, because I imagine that's really difficult to do without messing shit up.
Yeah.
But, like... God damn, what the fuck?
It's so bad.
It's like, what were they thinking?
But, yeah, so, like, the reason we're mentioning this now is because there was a brief period, like, after the paradoxes leaked, where there were some spreadsheets of, like, stats and stuff, where we saw these dex numbers. We didn't know about the Chinese legends yet.
Well, we knew they existed.
Yeah,
but
but we didn't know where they
see
fit, and so it's like, okay, people are trying to figure out how this all fits together, and they did the math,
this,
and they're like,
this ends on 993.
we're supposed to have this many new Pokemon
Well,
between
remember, we also saw
90
Koraidon and Miraidon with 998, 999.
Yeah, so those are 998, 999. We're like, okay, third Legend's 1,000, and it's like there's not enough slots before these for all of the Pokemon that we have heard of. And so
people they never just put random shit on the box.
Yeah, so it's like maybe some of them are fake. Like maybe, Ku put out some info that was like meant to kind of throw off I don't know, but it's like whatever. Yeah. So some of these must be fake. And so I was like, maybe
we're like, oh shit, there's 3 different dogs and so many birds.
Yeah, like there's all these like there's no way the crane actually exists. We already have a flamingo. Like, we've got the dark dog and the ghost dog and the fairy dog. We haven't seen the dark one yet. Maybe that's one fake. That one's fake. Maybe Pawmi doesn't have 2 evolutions. Like, and then this thing leaked. And I'm like, oh shit. Like, So yeah, we have Mischief. I want to know what this face reminds me of. Oh shit, did you go dead again? Yeah, pausing video. Okay, internet crisis over again. So I probably missed some stuff that you were saying here, but yeah, I don't know what it is.
I was not disappointed when this thing got leaked because I was like, oh phew, none of them are fake then, probably. It's just the dex order is going to be weird.
Yeah, that's
which is not great, but it's better than
losing a bunch of designs. Yeah, because at this point we hadn't seen the the Amy Rose Pokemon yet. So anyway, yeah, as far as this thing goes, I really don't give a shit about this thing. As soon as I heard that there were 3 dog families, I'm like, did we really need another dark dog? We've got Houndour and Poochyena. Like, I know Poochyena.
It is different enough from them.
Yeah.
It is different enough. This is like a, what do you call this? Well, I guess it's a Mastiff,
but yeah. I was starting to say, this thing's face reminds me of something, and I don't know what it is.
Same.
It's got like a 5 o'clock shadow. I could see this thing being like a grumpy boss in like a cartoon. I'm thinking like maybe Rocco's boss in like Rocco's Modern Life, like the comic shop.
I'm thinking it just looks like a similar dog character, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's like it also almost looks like Pepe, but like, yeah, I don't care for this thing too much. And then we have its evolution, which is apparently just fucking dead. Like,
it's so sad.
Well, did you see the one in Did you see the one in the stream?
No.
There's a character that has one of these that's like fucking dying. Yeah. And, like, every time it showed up, the chat was like, put it out of its misery. Like, holy shit. Like,
I think it's supposed to look grumpy, but it just looks sad.
Yeah, it's like the thing is, like, on death's door, and then the guy, like, feeds it a sandwich, and it's like, a wolf. But, yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. It's just...
I feel like this thing doesn't really have, like, a gimmick to it. It's kind of just a Mastiff, but, like, colored a little different.
Yeah. There's also the alleged... Oh, no, it's not in this image. There was a brief moment where this image had another picture of it as the nighttime form, and it was just the same image, except it, like, looked angry, and you could see its teeth. I'm like, is this actually a thing? And then, no, it's just... that was, like, its animation. Like, I am reasonably certain this thing does not have a nighttime form.
I like the fake nighttime form where it just starts grinning.
Yes.
It's like...
So, a wolf. Anyway.
A wolf. Does that feel good?
So, Shroodle.
This thing is completely inexplicable.
It has a giant nose.
It does.
So...
Is that supposed to be its teeth or its tongue at the front?
Oh god, I thought that was its leg.
Oh.
No, it's not. You're correct. I thought it was like reaching forward with an arm and like poking the ground, but no, that's...
It's probably its tongue. It wouldn't make sense for it to be a tooth. Actually,
I don't
maybe? I don't
know.
know.
Either way, yeah. So when I found out that Grafii was already evolved, I was confused because I'm like, this thing looks like an Apom style like first evolution. Like, how is this not?
It's also kind of a busy design, so I figured it was going to be a single stager, but then they're like, no, Baku said that it had a Prevo that was a fucking mouse. I'm like, why? Why does a mouse become a
Yeah,
monkey?
you got crispy. Sorry. Um,
For fuck's sake.
I'll just talk while you're doing this. So, yeah, when I saw this thing, like, I mean, I don't have an issue with a mouse or shrew or whatever becoming an ii. Like, they are totally different animals, but like,
Oh yeah,
eh,
somebody's gonna correct me. Technically, monkeys aren't lemurs, but what the fuck ever.
yeah, it's I don't mind it. It's whatever. But I will say when this thing showed up, I was very confused by its name at first because I thought it was like Shroom, but no, it's just a Shrew.
I thought it was supposed to. It just reminded me of like strudel, like apple strudel.
Don't let Homestar have any of that strudel because he's getting a little fat around the edges. Anyway, moving on.
Grafii itself.
Yeah, this thing's fucking gross. Like,
I learned of IIs when I was like 10, and I'm like, oh shit, this would make a really cool Pokemon. And I heard that because they're native to Madagascar, and it's like not a lot of people had really seen one up close because they were nocturnal. It was like a relatively, I mean it's not a remote island and it's pretty big, but like it wasn't as well studied as some stuff in other places. And so it kind of had this mysterious quality to it, and it's like, yeah, did you know there's this weird lemur that has a fucking extremely long middle finger that like digs into stuff with, and its eyes glow in the dark, and the locals like thought that they were ghosts, and I'm like, this thing is fucking awesome. We need to have like a ghost normal type ii. And then they made it poison normal and made it like a weird like graffiti artist.
yeah, it's. I don't know how to feel about this thing. Well, actually, I do know. I generally just don't like it that much. It's not for me. And this is. I'm just now remembering. I should have mentioned this a long time ago. Meowscarada is absolutely a Deltarune character. This thing is just Ralsei, like,
And
mixed
Joe.
with Jevil. Yeah, like,
It reminds me of Knight. If I use
Yeah,
one, I'm
that
probably gonna
too.
name it Knight.
but anyway, yeah, I don't really care too much for those two. We got a poison normal type though. We needed that.
I had
So-
a fake poison normal like Fakemon that was like I don't know what it's called. It's some pig with like a collar that's like full of toxins or something. There's a real animal based on that. I can't remember what it's called.
So here's Tauros but black,
Yup.
and then here's Tauros but black and some red spots, and
He
then
is
here's
black. He is
Tauros
from the
with
Iberian
black and
Peninsula.
some blue spots.
And some like
like-
weird like bulbous horns.
Yeah, so let's see. This one has it looks like a normal Tauros painted black. I think it only has two tails. I don't know if the third one's back there. Horns are a little smaller. This one, horns are more normal. It's got like this weird one
like tied in.
branch, and
Yeah.
then the thing kind of goes up. This one, it kind of like flares out, curly horns, and I don't know what the fuck's going on back here. So it's like they do have differences, but I
They
don't.
really couldn't have changed the color a little more.
So yeah, this
Or
one.
just-
So we
I
have
don't know.
pure fighting, fighting fire, and then fighting water.
And allegedly, the fire and water one are version exclusive to Scarlet and Violet, respectively, and the regular one is in both. Like, what the fuck?
I don't get this thing. Like, and here's the thing: the dex just says Paldean form. Like, I don't know what the other ones are called. I've just been calling
Yeah,
them
me neither.
like Paldean Tauros 1, 2, and 3. Like,
Yeah.
I assume they're all completely independent of each other.
Yeah. I don't want to keep talking about my, like, Fakemon, but I will say I actually had a fighting type regional variant Tauros as a Fakemon in an idea I had for, like, a Pokemon game set in Brazil. So,
Well, Captain Pringle had a fanfic called The Emerald League, where one of the gym leaders had a fire-type evolution of Tauros called Emberto, and that thing was from like 2001. So, yeah,
Well, I know what I'm naming the fire one. To use it.
yay. All right, so yeah, I don't have any interest in the Tauros forms. They're just kind of whatever. So here's
Your favorite animal?
yeah, this one was kind of a disappointment. So I I have gone on record saying that after Hadoos, my favorite animal is a tumbleweed, and then people are like, how do we tell them? And it's like, yeah, I know that they're not fucking animals. I'm not dumb. It's like, I say it that way because it's funny. And I think tumbleweeds are fucking hilarious. Like,
Even though they're a menace.
I don't know, they're just great. Like, I don't know what it is about them. They're just funny. Like,
I mean, yeah,
like,
plot just fucking rolling along.
Don't
mind me.
like, I've seen videos of like, fuck, I'm gonna look one up. Let me look up like tumbleweed tornado. Like, look at this shit. Like, just these stupid fucking bushes just flying around everywhere. I don't know, they're hilarious. So,
Yeah.
so I heard that there was a tumbleweed Pokemon, and I was excited. And it's just kind of okay. I'm still gonna use it out of obligation.
Isn't that the shiny?
Fuck, is it?
Let me look.
I don't think so.
I thought it was green.
The shiny is green on the bottom. This one I can't really see.
The colors were just more faded in the picture I saw.
Anyway, so I kind of like this first form. It's not as full as I would like it to be. Like, as soon as they announced Alolan forms, I was like, they need to do like a grass ground Tangela tumbleweed. Like, that would be fucking great. This one, yeah, like I said, this one, it's like, I wish it had more branches to it, but otherwise it's not bad.
It's probably because it would have been harder to render. I mean, they do that for the evolution, but then, they would have had to do a bit more for that.
So then, Bramblegast.
I will say I did also have a grass ground tumbleweed in my figure under
Okay. So Bramblegast is, it's very Delmise-esque. It's got, like, a hidden face in it in the same way that Delmise does. The eyes are weird, where it's, like, one is red with a black stripe, the other one's reversed. I don't know how to feel about this, because I don't dislike it, but I wish I liked it more. Because I wanted this to be, like, the standout.
Is it too edgy?
No, I think it's, like, I think this is fine. I just, I wanted this to be, like, my favorite Pokemon of the generation, and it isn't. And I don't know what would make it that. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
But...
Oh, I totally forgot to say for Mousehold that it's a fucking Sylvanian family.
What do you mean?
Look up Sylvanian families.
Oh, what the hell?
Go to images. The ones I always saw on TV were like mice, I thought. Maybe they were rabbits, I'm not sure.
I just see them as Hello Kitty characters.
Yeah, kinda.
But yeah, like I said, these I feel like these are some of the least popular in the generation. I've seen a lot of people be pretty disappointed by these.
I like them a lot.
Also am, but only because I had really high expectations because of my weird tumbleweed obsession.
Bramblegast is also
like,
the first Pokemon to be named after a song from a video game soundtrack.
Yes.
As far as I can tell. Like, what else could this possibly be named after other than just, the words Bramble and the words Ghast and Bramble Blast, which is... Okay, sorry, technically it's a level from Donkey Kong Country 2. And, the song is Stick a Bush Symphony.
Indeed. I don't know. I like, for some reason I kept wanting to spell it without the E, like it going straight from the L to the G. Like, that seems like something they would do, but whatever.
They don't need to. It fits in.
But yeah, like I said, these are fine. Now I have the issue of, I want to use the fire starter that is part ghost, this thing that's part ghost. There's probably at least one other ghost I want to use. I don't know which, but I like several of them. And, like, Then there's, the other fire type that we've already seen. I'm going to have a lot of type overlap, but that's fine.
I would like to use this, but I'm already
So-
using a ghost type, so...
Toad's cool. This is the only other Wiglet-esque thing that we have.
Yeah.
Tentacle, but it's a mushroom, and it has little feet. And
I like the little feet.
it looks very sassy in this picture.
Yeah, kind of.
I don't have a whole lot to say about this one. The evolution is, like, kind of unsettling.
Terrifying. Yeah.
Like, these things
It's like an alien.
Yeah, these are like alien abductors. Like, they're...
I like it, despite the fact that I normally am, like, afraid of fungus. I actually haven't used any of the mushroom Pokemon.
What does wood deer mean?
A wood ear. It's a type of mushroom.
Okay.
That grows on the sides of trees, so it looks like the little ears that the tree has.
These are ground grass. Yeah, which I think we haven't seen since Torterra.
Right.
So, they're cool. Again, I like the idea of the... People call them regional fakes. I kind of wish we got more than just these two. Maybe we'll see more next generation.
Maybe they were just testing the waters or something.
Yeah. That's pretty much all I got. They're interesting. Probably not going to use it, but it's neat.
I also want to see them for things that aren't Gen 1. They always seem to test these things with Gen 1 first.
Right. So Cloth has a great face, and that's
Yeah.
pretty much it.
They showed this in the prevo, in the pre-release. And I'm like, that's it. It's just kind of a crab guy.
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
It's
There's like too many lines on it. Well, no, it's not that it has too many. This is fine. It kind of, I feel like what it is it stands out from several other things in the gen where, like, people have been complaining about Pokemon designs being like oversimplified and smoothed out. This thing is like it has a lot of like little details that you would expect out of like a Gen 1 Pokemon.
See, I'm actually thinking the opposite because I've that image that kind of compares older and newer Pokemon, and it kind of like flip flops Krabby and Clauncher, where you have like the super smooth Krabby and the detailed Clauncher. I feel like this is the smooth Krabby. Like it has,
I mean, it
has a lot of
smooth,
detail, but I feel like it's almost kind of plastic looking. I don't hate it, but I don't care about it.
I don't
that
hate
much.
this thing. I don't hate that many Pokemon. Also,
Yeah.
why does it have like rosy red cheeks? I've never noticed that.
It's a Pika clone.
God.
So
It's fine. I'm not that interested in it. But
God, here's another potential tragedy, depending on how you look at it. So
yeah.
I'm gonna show these in reverse order because we saw this thing first, and
it was believed to be a shitty fake.
Yeah, there was a brief period where people thought that this was a fake because the leakers said that any Pokemon that has this format, like here, I'll open like the starter again. Like it'll always have a dex number, and so they're like, okay, why is this thing like cut off suspiciously so we can't see the name? Why is there no dex number? And the leakers are like, yeah, this thing's probably a fake, and everybody immediately jumped onto this. And there were a couple other ones that popped up that didn't have dex numbers, and everyone's like, fake, no number, nope, the mod said's fake, nope. And it's like, where? And it's like, okay, well, where are these, like, believable looking 3D models coming from? And like, doesn't matter, it's fake.
Yeah.
So,
Like, it could be somebody that was just holding on to it until, like, a good time to make the right format image, but...
yeah, so, no, it's real, though, and, it's the evolution. There's a reason I'm showing it in this order, because the past like 17 generations have had rumors that there's going to be a fire, grass, pepper Pokemon, and it never turns out to be real. And then this time it actually is, and this thing leaked, and it's like, like,
Yeah,
because like
this is not what people were expecting. This is like a weird...
It's
like
Xviolus, but with peppers.
I normally sometimes I've seen pictures of like animals that have been born with like an extra head, like I've seen
and they're
two-headed
upsetting.
snake and a two-headed turtle. Yeah, it's upsetting to me, and this gives me vibes of that. Which for some reasons Xviolus doesn't. I don't know why. Like maybe it's because Xviolus is way more cartoony. These ones have like these really grotesque faces. They almost remind me of like theater masks.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard.
I do like that the seeds are like the teeth are like little seeds though. That's good. But other than that,
that was another thing. I saw people bitching like, "Why is the tooth like clipping through the chin?" Like, wow, they fucked that one up. But yeah, I'm the same way where it's like, I never really had an issue with Doduo or like any of those other Pokemon. They're usually not like my favorites. Like, Weezing is supposed to be a fucking gross mutation, so like it makes sense on that one. Vanillux, it's like, This one I saw it and I'm just like, oh. Like, it's supposed to be ugly. I can't fault it for that, and I always say that for stuff like Garbodor, where people are like, this is the ugliest shit ever. It's like, yeah, it's supposed to be.
Garbodor doesn't even look that ugly to me. It's kind of cute.
This one, it's like, it's grown on me, but it is an ugly bastard. We can't get past that.
I will say it has a tail, which is not evident from this picture. And a lot of... I saw at least a few people say that like that helped balance the design, and they liked it a little better from other angles and stuff.
I actually don't even remember that. I saw this thing in the stream a fair bit, but I guess didn't pay attention. But yeah, so when this thing was proven to be real, the question was then, is this stage 1 or 2? And I'm like, well, it's a fucking 2-header. It's probably going to be stage 2. Yeah. And it was. So stage 1, like that one's Scoville. This one gets a lot of love for its name also, because it's the Scoville scale of like heat.
Yeah, it's named after a guy called Scoville, I believe. So this is the only Pokemon that is named after a person. I think there's probably another one.
I'm certain there's others. They're just not coming to mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's Scoville and then Capsicid. What did you say that one was named after?
Capsaicin and also a Kappa, because it's a Kappa.
Okay.
Capsaicin is the chemical in hot peppers that makes them spicy.
I see. This one's also pretty ugly, but I mean, that was obviously
This one doesn't bother me as much. It's like a little ugly baby thing.
Yeah.
I remember the website had like it was described as being like a sort of a pepper and also like a lizard, and they had this thing that was like sort of a quadrupedal, sort of long, almost kind of similar to what Scarlet ended up being, honestly, but sort of like a long...
It was like a long pepper body as a lizard, and yeah, that thing was cool.
It was not to be.
God, see, here's another issue. I want to use Skeledirge. I want to use Armarouge. This would be a third fire type. I might have to pass on this one. We'll see. But anyway, getting back to bugs. I think this one is later game. Even I don't know. It might be early on. But it's a dung beetle or a scarab. I think they're the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, is it doing a handstand?
Man, I don't know.
So,
I just remembered. Kangaskhan is named after Genghis Khan.
Oh God, yeah. Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something else where it's like, there was like a person who discovered. Oh yeah, Empoleon.
Napoleon.
Yeah, I feel like there's like an explorer that like discovered something and then they got their name into a Pokemon name. I don't remember, but anyway.
I will scroll through the national deck.
So this is a roller spelled backwards, and I hear it's because it walks backwards or something. Like,
I don't know what the deal is with this. We are working on incomplete information here. Some of these we haven't seen in motion. We haven't seen Pokedex entries like context.
People in general have. I just haven't.
Oh yeah.
I saw a bunch of these.
There's not a lot of good like collected info yet, but people are still kind of piecing it together from multiple sources.
I saw these wandering around in the desert in the stream. I don't think the guy actually really fought any though. But yeah, the Pokedex makes it clear that this thing is mud and not poop, because I guess they didn't want to do that.
I see.
I don't know why there's like little Cheetos in it.
But can't say.
But yeah, the design of the bug itself is weird. It looks like it's doing a handstand.
I mean, I think it is.
And I don't remember.
Oh god, what does that face remind me of? It reminds me of like a Muppet or something.
It reminds me of the fucking Zoombinis. um, what's the shiny? Why is this thing like vertically stretched? What the fuck? I don't know.
That just reminds me of when Blipbug leaked for Gen 8, and people were like, okay, who
Why'd they
fucking
stretch his
stretched
head?
this thing's head?
Yeah, that's what Radical Soda said. And it became known as Abomination.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Relor. Then we have Rabska, which is Scarab with the two halves of its name
swapped.
kind of switched. Yeah, Bug Psychic. We did have one of those last gen, but I think it's a cool type.
Technically Teddy Ursa is named after Theodore Roosevelt, because that's what teddy bears are named after.
Oh my god. Good shit. I feel like I haven't really seen good images of this thing yet. It was one of the last ones to leak, I think.
It was, yeah.
Does it just floats, or
I don't know. It's kind of an interesting concept. Like, what if a dung beetle's ball was a fucking like crystal ball that it like saw into the future with? Like, okay, I guess.
It's got kind of like a Ziggurat style thing going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have too much of an opinion on this. I think I'd have to see it in motion first.
The problem is that we finally got a bug psychic last gen, and then they're immediately doing another one, and I happen to use Orbeetle, so that
Yeah.
I'm immediately like, yeah, no, I don't want to use the only other bug psychic already.
Yeah, I think it's okay. I just, like I said, I have to see it in motion.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we? Okay. This fucking thing. So
fucking
first
thing.
of all, so Flittle, first of all, that is a Gen 5 name if ever I've heard one. There are so many Gen 5 Pokemon that have like Lil or like Ling or something in their name. And it's just like, yup, it's a little duck, it's a little deer, it's a little puppy. And I see that, like, so this thing comes out, Flittle, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Because this doesn't describe anything that we know about in the Pokedex. I'm like, it's like a UFO. Like, what is this?
It says it's the frill Pokemon, so it's just like a little frill on like a dress or something.
And then like, so this thing gets leaked, people are like, what? And then it's like, it's pure psychic, and we're like, this isn't the ostrich, is it? What? And it is. So it kind of looks like a baby chick,
I'm gonna look up
of.
ostrich chick. Nope, it looks nothing like this.
It looks like, it looks like a baby chicken though. Like, it's like a yellow puff ball.
Oh yeah, I can kind of see that.
Like, but then
Okay,
it's
that
got
makes a little more
like
sense.
a tutu. I get, like, I don't. It's weird.
Mhm. Does it have legs? Are those tiny blue
I
things?
think
at the
it
bottom?
does.
Okay.
I don't know. It's weird. So yeah, we get this thing, and then not too long after, we get the evolution of Espathra, and oh boy,
Is that the regular or the shiny?
that's the regular, I think.
Okay.
Where's the shiny? It's I'm bad at finding stuff. The order is weird.
Find?
Am I dumb? Where is it?
I ain't seeing it. Oh, scroll up. It's on near the top left. Scroll up further.
Ah, okay, yeah, that's the. Anyway. So yeah, this thing, it's I had a hard time remembering this thing's name. You helped me with that. It's ESP, Empath, and Cleopatra.
Yeah, I think
So-
Cleopatra can also be written as Cleopatra. I'm not
Because
sure.
it's
though.
definitely got the Cleopatra hair. This thing had a great image on the Gen 9 Dex site. I doubt it's still there. It was like a fucking diva. Like,
Yeah, I don't remember it super well because I was never super interested in the ostrich.
I wasn't either, because there's too many fucking birds.
Yeah,
But,
at the
like-
very least, I'm like, at least it's not flying. It's good they made a flightless
is-
bird that doesn't have to be a flying type. So.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know where the original picture is, but yeah, this is one of those that's just gonna kind of probably get lost in the rest of the stuff. This is like,
Probably. Oh, speaking of naming things after people,
oh yeah, here we go.
and also Curlia is named after Curlian photography, which is named after Semyon Curlian. Anyway, sorry.
Yes. I know that you really like Behem, but
Yeah, I love
that one
It's
definitely
my
gets
favorite.
lost in the swamp of Gen
Oh,
5
absolutely.
Psychic types, and I feel like
Yeah.
there's not, like, there isn't a ton of competition for Psychic this gen, but I feel like this one's gonna get kind of overlooked. It has
Probably.
that feeling to it.
I
Like,
agree. It's fine.
I don't dislike
I have no
it.
problems with it.
But yeah, it's
I do wonder what the inspiration is for making it ostrich psychic and basing it on Cleopatra.
yeah, it seems like a bit of a.
There's
random
probably a
grab
connection
bag.
between Cleopatra and ostriches that I could believe that maybe. I don't know. I
So-
don't know much about ancient Egyptian.
So this next family here, a few things to say about these. These were some of the. This was like one of the last families to get images. It was
Right.
originally described as fairy girl
Pink
with a
hammer.
hammer,
Yeah.
and so the website just had a picture of Amy Rose from Sonic,
So
and yeah, it took a while for us to actually see these. We saw the final evolution first. I'm gonna just go through them in evolution order though. Tinka-Tink. This is Pokemon 1000, and oh boy, is it ever deserving of that title.
I know, right?
It's a Chow.
It is.
Yeah. It's a pink Chow holding like a rattle. It's
It's like a rattle / like a little club.
yeah. It's kind of Gothita-esque.
Mm.
I kind of don't like it.
I don't like it, but I like the Evos well enough. So.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I feel like this one's but also Fairy Steel broken as shit typing from what I've heard.
It has fucking Ashay hair, where it has like from Twilight Princess, where it has the just the really shitty bangs. Then like that's it. But like I don't know.
So yeah, middle form. This one's got like the weird. You know how like Muck and the Great Mighty Pooh have like the threads kind of connecting.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Why does it have that? Like
I don't know.
it's weird. Is this thing a shovel or like?
I have no idea.
And then final form, I would say, is definitely the best of the three.
Yeah.
It's got a Muppet mouth. You can just barely see. There's a crease there.
The mouth is really big.
It looks like Zippy. I do like the comedically large hammer. These are almost like.
I'm not sure this needed to be 3 stages. It does look different, but the size barely changes, and I feel like there needs to be a more dramatic size difference between 3 stages.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I was gonna say this is like the feminine version of like Timber, where they just kind of have tools.
Yeah, maybe. It makes its own hammer, so I guess that's...
I also think that these are 100% female.
Yeah,
But
which is dumb.
yeah. But yeah, they're interesting. I wouldn't put them among my favorites, but I think they're kind of cool-ish. I don't know. It's weird. Like,
They're unique. I don't know if they're based on anything other than they're just fucking Amy Rose. Like I don't know what.
pretty much, yeah. I wish I had more to say about those. But
You'd think that a 3-stager that ends up with a gigantic hammer like that would have a good attack stat. Go ahead and guess what its attack stat is.
oh god, you're right. I was expecting like 130. No, okay. So what is it, like fucking 60?
75.
Is it a special attacker or is it a wall?
No. I don't remember.
Okay, let me look.
I know. I just know that I looked at it. I'm like, why the fuck is this attack so low? It's especially defensive.
Man,
and
what the
otherwise
fuck?
just kind of generally balanced. Like this thing should be like frail as fuck with an insane attack stat.
Yeah,
fit so
I
much
could
better.
see it being 94 speed.
This should be slow.
Yeah, I
It's
feel like
carrying a
it
giant
should be
fucking hammer.
slow, frail, super high attack.
That would be fun. Because here's the thing: is Fairy Steel is a great defensive typing. That could probably make up for shitty defensive. I don't know what they were thinking.
Pretty weird. So here is bird number 76. Bombardier?
Yeah.
I wanted to call it Bombardier, but yeah, I think Bombardier.
You delivered bombs in the movie, right?
So, this thing, it was originally described as being a crane. I was expecting, like, the crane from Kung Fu Panda. Yeah. But no, it's about this is apparently a stork.
It delivers bombs instead of babies. It's
I
hilarious.
saw the stream fighting the Titan version of this, and you know how like when you go to fight a Pokemon and it like spells out their cry. This thing was just stork. Like, okay, it's a little on the nose.
Sword.
Yeah,
God.
grilled. Mahina.
Napia.
Yeah. So, I feel like it's been a fan idea for a long time that there should be a stork Pokemon that like delivers babies and like have that tied into breeding somehow. This isn't that, but it's still the stork Pokemon. It has, like
I like its shit-eating grin.
yeah, it's pretty good. Here it's like basically it's got like this big, it's like a Delibird thing going on.
I mean, it says right there, it's an apron made from shed feathers added to the Pokemon's chest feathers.
Yeah, and it just kind of makes this pouch. I've seen people describe it as having a huge dick.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate.
Where's
They
the-
probably could have.
Oh,
They
this
probably
is
could have
also
made
fine.
it a little higher up on the body.
But anyway, it's
I will also say, this thing's hidden ability, not even its main ability. I always hate when they give a unique ability to something as it's hidden, but whatever. Its hidden ability is Rocky Payload, which is basically a rock type version of Steelworker, Delmize's ability that gives it steel type stab. This thing can get rock type stab as its hidden ability.
Interesting. Yeah, there's probably a lot of signature abilities that we're just glossing over.
Yeah.
I just don't know them yet. Yeah, this is another one I feel like is going to kind of get overlooked.
It is a Titan at least, so it features prominently in one of the
Yeah.
quests.
So, Finn is
Oh
in.
boy.
Yep, so we finally have a dolphin that isn't Kyogre.
And people don't like it. Well, people like Finism, but they don't like the evolution.
Yeah. But yep, this is it's a bottlenose dolphin. It plays it very safe. I feel like most people expected water psychic, but we just have pure water. It's whatever. I don't think there's like anything noteworthy about this thing until it evolves.
Pretty much.
Then we have Palafin. Look, it's the same Pokemon, except it has a little heart underneath it.
I think it's a slightly different. No, it's the same color.
It's the same Pokemon, except it has a heart underneath it. But if you have this thing sent out, and then you switch it back, like you switch out to something else, and then you switch this thing back, its ability 0 to Hero activates, and it becomes Centro is amazing.
I think there's a better picture of this. Hang on.
I mean, there's the shiny, which is
No, there's a better picture. Okay. I typed Palafin. Stop correcting me. It didn't even say it corrected me that time.
So, I want to start out by saying I don't hate this thing. It is kind of weird.
It's the eyes and the beak for me.
Well,
like I don't.
It's like a SpongeBob character.
Yeah.
It's not Larry the Lobster. It's that fucking seal that is obsessed with getting tans from like a later season episode. Here we go. Yeah. But yeah, basically it's supposed to be Superman. The thing switches out and then turns into its superhero form.
Right
and it has like super high stats. It's like 630 base.
160 attack.
Damn.
Yeah. It's insane. I don't know what the fuck.
Because
what did you say the total was? I think it's 650, isn't it?
Let me look. I know it's above 600 at least. What is a Palafin? Yeah, 650. God damn. Yeah, this thing's a beast. I feel like, having to switch out and back in, it doesn't sound like it's that weird of a thing to activate. Maybe. I don't do competitive.
And the thing is, I think this might be a little more balanced if the regular Palafin form was basically had the same stats as the Prevo, especially because it looks the fucking same. But no, it gets a pretty big buff from the Evo, even though it looks the same.
So I told you yesterday what the evolution method was predicted to be. Do you know what it actually is?
Oh no, I thought it was the thing you told me.
So people were thinking that you got this thing by switching out Finizen like 30 times in one battle or something. Yeah, which is fucking stupid. So I'm like, there's no way that's correct. Maybe it's like you do that, maybe it counts how many times you switch it out, but it doesn't have to be in one battle or something. As far as I'm aware now, it's not that. It's you have to find one with a specific. You know how like Gen 8 Pokemon can have like titles?
No.
Like, it's this really. It's this weird. Let me see how they describe it. Is it on here? Shit, I thought I saw it in here. Okay, well here's Finizen, level 38 and fuck knows what. Let me search for heart because it's in here. Go away. Yeah, a mark. Like Pokemon can have marks in Gen 8. I don't remember what they are, but that's a thing. Yeah, there's one that's a heart. You have to get one with that to evolve it.
Aren't the marks just like the things that say what gen they come from?
No, because you can have Pokemon that have like it's you have like the nature, there's the characteristic, and then there's like this other thing that they can sometimes have that I don't think does anything. I don't.
Yeah, what the fuck? I've never heard of this. Goes to show how much I give a shit about Gen 8.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about Gen 8 either, but yeah, it's. I don't know if this is true, but this is the current theory.
Okay, so ones without that. If you find one and it doesn't have the mark, it just can't evolve.
I think it's like male Combi, yeah.
Ugh.
I guess we'll find out. This is the early stages. Like, but yeah, that's really weird. So.
All right.
I might have to use this thing. It's so fucking weird. It's like wishy-washy. Like
it is, yeah. I still haven't used wishy-washy.
So, Varoom.
I played Alola 4 times.
So yeah, they've shown this car in trailers a ton of times and just kind of never addressed it. So this is the evolution.
Like, this is a Pokemon. Like this is obviously a Pokemon.
Yeah, so we have Varoom and Revavroom, which I don't...
Varoom is the single cell Pokemon, like a single cylinder in the engine.
Single cell, yeah, that's really good. I think I don't have a good picture of the second one. Yeah, no, this is like the party icon.
Ooh, let me see if I can find one. I mean, it's just the...
I'm sure I can find the shiny. Yeah, here it is. It's... Yeah, they're... I want you to guess where you find these in the wild.
Oh, I don't know.
I will get... you have to guess, though. 2 guesses.
Are you talking like biome or like
yeah,
a kind of I mean, I don't think there's one that's just like fucking industrial like factory. So
yeah, so that would be the first guess because like Magnemite,
maybe like a desert to be like a
Mad
Max reference.
Top of Snowy Mountain.
What?
I saw Varoom on top of the Snowy Mountain in the stream. I don't fucking know. Like, but they might be in other places too.
So here's a weird thing. There's potentially story spoilers, barely. The reason that there is one of these like for the Team Star thing, if you open up the Cerebi page again, that's like when you fight Team Star, you sometimes have to fight the car.
Right. And
it's just like an alternate form that you can't get. It's almost like Eternal Floette or something. It's just a variant.
Eternatus. Yeah.
Or Eternatus, yeah. Like with the hand form. It's just a special version of it that acts as like what are they called? Titans. It acts as like a Titan battle-esque thing. Where it has like a lot of HP. I don't know if you fight one of these for all 5 of them. That would be kind of weird to me.
Sure.
But...
I saw again. I kind of like dipped in and out of the stream occasionally. I saw a part where the guy went from, God, it was the Bombardier Titan straight to, I think the Great Tusk Titan, and like in like fucking 5 minutes, and then. There was also, and then they like went and did one of the Team Star things, and they fought one of these, and it was like level 20, and they were like in the 40s, and it fucking died in one hit. Like, I don't know. The level scaling just, I hate that it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Like I've seen plenty of praise and plenty of hate for this game.
I've
I
seen
think,
arguments for and against it.
I think
For and against the level
I think
scaling.
most of this game looks really good. It's a huge step up from Sword and Shield, in my opinion.
It's definitely a step up, but the problem is that Sword and Shield didn't really look like a.
Yeah, graphically, I don't even care about graphically. Graphics are like
I don't.
I think it ranges from okay to ugly. There are spots that are really bad, but most of the time it looks okay. But in terms of like actual gameplay, I like the idea here. I don't like the fact that you can just wander off and skip a gym, and then you're going to be over leveled as hell, and it won't pose any issue. Like the only thing you can do about that, if you want to give yourself a decent challenge, is to ditch your team and start a new one. Like,
yeah, I actually almost considered having a different team for each of the 3 quests. The problem is that like fighting 5 titans is not really the same as doing 8 gyms.
Right.
So like, maybe do 2 teams.
So anyway, interesting typing. Steel poison. I'm interested. I'm not sure.
Yeah, same. I'm not going to be using it this time, but another time. Ooh, one other thing is I've seen speculation that maybe the reason they made what is basically a car Pokemon is because people wanted Carkol to evolve into like a train, and then it didn't.
Yeah.
And I don't know, because obviously with how tight the fucking deadlines are on this, like they started working on this game like before Sword and Shield was even out,
Maybe.
and they're already working on Gen 10 just for the rate. This game's not out, and they're working on Gen 10. People have found a picture. Well, they haven't said so, but that's always how it's been. Like, they're not like far into it. Probably they're still in pre-production, but they're almost certainly starting to design shit and come up with like stuff. Like they know what the region is, because there's a picture. They always do this shit where they hint what the next region is. And in this case, there's like a picture in some building that's like a painting of like a street, and it says like "Street Midday." This is a picture painted of a town in another region or something, and people are thinking it looks Italian or Greek.
Oh my god!
So there's already speculation about that, but yeah,
I don't have much to say on that. But
but yeah. Anyway,
they have no chill.
This could be a card like to sate the people who wanted to train.
Maybe. So Cyclizar, it exists. That's about all I have to say about it. It exists to have a reason for the box legends existing.
Yeah.
Dragon Normal, which I mean is a boring type, and we've seen it with Drampa, but like
it's not that boring.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like if this just existed on its own and didn't have the tie to the box legendaries, I could see it being one of those, like kind of overlooked things. I mean, it's basically Drampa. It's just, it's one of those things where, some people are going to be like, oh, that's kind of neat, I'll try that out. And most people are going to kind of pass it over. Here, I don't know who would care about this. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are people who like this one. I find it very underwhelming.
They at least gave it like a cool move. It's technically not completely unique to it. What is it? It's like a substitute and baton pass at the same time. I don't know what it's called.
That's kind of cool.
It basically sheds its tail like a lizard does. Here's the problem: something else also gets this move. It's not completely unique to it. There's 2 Pokemon that get it.
Oh my god.
But yeah.
Stats are interesting. It's speedy, physical attacker.
It's decent, yeah.
But yeah,
it's better than decent. 500 is better than most things.
Yeah.
501.
Yeah, I would still call this one kind of whatever.
Yeah.
Orthworm.
Here's the other thing that gets the like baton pass substitute move. I love this thing.
I kind of do too. This thing is so fucking derpy. Like
this might be my favorite of the gen. I'm not completely decided yet, but yeah.
This was another one that leaked alongside Scovillain, and it was said to be fake at first. But yeah,
this one I believe though.
I love this thing's face so much. It's so good.
Yeah, it reminds me of something, and I can't think of what.
It reminds me of an automaton, but
oh yeah, it does. But it reminds me of something else too. The sides of its body, I think, is supposed to look like Pokeballs.
Yeah, possibly. There's also little legs that come out of those holes.
Oh yeah,
But,
I forgot about that.
yeah, so this was another one where I totally forgot that this was one of the leaked things where it's just steel type earthworm. It's like,
Hmm.
okay. I was kind of expecting Onyx style thing. I guess
I
that's
had a
almost
dream
what
that it
this
just
is.
looked like a regular pink earthworm, but giant, and also had like several, like 3 or 4 like plain metal bands around its body instead of like where the regular bands would be.
Hmm.
Of course, on an earthworm, it usually only has the two by the head and the tail, I think. And that's basically what we've got here. Is
Yeah.
those bands are metal, but
Yeah, like I said, I just kept forgetting about this because like there's the 3 fucking dogs, there's the 17 birds. Like, I would never remember the crane on its own if not for the fact that it's one of the many birds. But every time I would look down the list, I'm like, oh yeah, there's a worm.
the list would always like it grouped the titans together, didn't it?
Oh, did it? So you got this and Cloth and Bombardier and yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like this thing a lot. It's
I'm definitely using
derpy
it.
as all hell. I don't know what else there is to say about it.
Here's something fun.
It's
Its
like-
ability is Earth Eater, which is basically like water absorb or volt absorb, but for ground moves.
Hmm.
So it's immune to ground and it heals instead. Which means that if you terrestrialize it into electric, then, it just gets no weaknesses, which is fun.
Nice. So yeah, very high physical defense, which is common for steel types. Rest of its stats are kind of, yeah, but it's cool. Here's another one. This is another one that from the beginning I said these things are going to be incredibly fucking overlooked. Like, they're going to stand out as being like really weird, and then everybody's going to forget about them.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what other Pokemon that kind of describes, like, there's other times where a generation will introduce something really off the wall and weird, and I'm like, oh, that thing's cool as hell, and then like nobody else remembers it.
Dragalge.
No, I don't know.
I feel like no one ever talks about Dragalge.
If not for the fact that it's a single stager, I would compare this to like Carbink, but like,
Maybe.
anyway,
Well, Carving has the dancing thing going on.
yeah. So I don't know what the fuck these are, other than what did
They're based on, fuck me, I never remember. Copper sulfate, I want to say,
yeah.
or like cal.
They were described as
Calcanthite.
being crystal flowers, and that's basically what they are.
Calcanthite. It's
So
it's
rock
specific
poison
kind of
is
crystal thing.
rock poison is the Nihilego type. So we're
Yeah,
seeing it on
this is the first
something common
knowledge
now.
one.
It's this thing's just kind of like a bulb with a crystal flower face, and then it evolves into, where is it?
Glimora.
Yeah. Oh, this is a shitty image. This is one of the few images that you can actually see it from the side, because when you see this thing from the front, it just is Shelgon. Like, let me find the shiny one. Where? Yeah, right here. Like, tell me this thing is not fucking Shelgon.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So yeah,
Depends on the angle, though.
these are really weird. I don't really get what their deal is. Like,
I like them. I was very close to using one. I may still replace Mousehold with it, but
let's see. It's super high special attack.
yeah, it would make for
Pretty
another
good
good like special
defenses.
attacker.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, really good stats.
Toxic debris. Is that the one that automatically sends out poison spikes?
When it gets hit, it releases poison
Or
spikes.
toxic spikes, yeah. Okay.
Toxic spikes.
Corrosion is what Salazzle has, right?
Yeah, that's the thing that lets you poison things that can't normally be poisoned. Bypass poison status condition immunity.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I'll have to consider. Again, I've said that for fucking everything in the decks. But
Oh, I will add, we don't actually know how to get hidden ability things yet, do we? Unless we do, and I'm just stupid.
oh, I don't know. I haven't looked into
Because
that.
corrosion is the hidden ability.
So Grievard, we saw this one in a trailer. Just kind of killed some lady. It's Muttley from Wacky Races, but with a Litwick on its
Yeah,
head. I
I
kinda
made a
don't care
meme
about it.
uh, based on a thing from BA3 where I edited it to say, "Yup, it's a dog with a candle on its head."
Okay. Um, yeah, I kind of don't really care about this one very much. And then Houndstone, which I think is a shitty name because it sounds like it should be a rock type. It's supposed to be Tombstone, but it doesn't really.
Honestly, Ghost Rock would have been a cool typing for this because we haven't had that yet.
Yeah, how do we still not have a Ghost Rock? We've had like 3 things that could have been close to it and just weren't.
Rune Regus is like, no, little pieces of like rock. No, that's ground.
You know what this reminds me of? This is a random ass Mario RPG enemy.
Oh, absolutely.
This
Yeah,
looks
I
like
can
a
see that.
combination of the Reacher, which is the thing that like reaches over a tombstone, and like Masta Doom, the like elephant skeleton.
Yeah,
It like I could absolutely see this thing being modeled like this, and then like shrunken down into a shitty like SNES sprite, and have it just kind of like shuffles back and forth. Like,
yeah. I have a question. I have a few things to say about this actually. Number one, I'm pretty sure in China you're not allowed to show skeletons. So, yeah, like that's been a problem for several other games. Is you can't have skeletons.
weird.
Um, so does this not count? Because this is absolutely a skeletal dog. Like
Yeah.
it has hair on it, but it's a skeleton.
It has hair coming out of where its eyes should be. It has a
Yeah,
gigantic
that's gross.
lower jaw, which at first I thought that this was its snout, and like this is the
Yeah, I
nose,
can
but
see
nope,
that.
nope, it's
And
a
it
giant
just has like no
underbite.
eyes and like the high hole.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't hate this. I'm definitely not going to use it, but like,
I'm not going to use it on this team, but I might on another. The other thing I wanted to say about it is literally a
Oh,
few
yeah.
days before the leaks happened, I had a dream. This is like a week ago at this point. I had a dream about a new lovely fellow. That in my head, I'm like, it sort of looks like a beta Entei or something.
I have to sorry, very brief explanation because lovely fellows have been mentioned in other videos, but there's not like a place to go to find out what the fuck these are. They are bootleg, off-brand strange creatures that Autumn made, where strange creatures are supposed to be bootleg, off-brand Pokemon. So these are
This
like,
is just like a second layer.
yeah, they're kind of great, but
Yeah, they have even stupider names, such as like yeah. So I had a dream about a weird sort of legendary looking one that was covered in really long white fur and had like a single horn on its head that sort of became pinkish towards the tip of the horn, and I ended up making that one. This like because other stuff was leaking,
I mean, you want
and
to just
I was
the
like
picture
I
of
should
it.
get. Huh?
You
Yeah,
wanna
I should get in on this. I should make a joke like leak strange creature and then just make it the actual thing. So I did that, and yeah, I based it on the thing from my dream. I ended up naming it "The Day Is Done," which is just it's the part that you can never remember what or never you never knew what was being said in where you go into
Okay.
because it goes like the cheat.
The day is done, so let's close that lid on that barbecue, or no, something like that.
The day is done, so won't you close that barbecue lid?
Right.
Anyway, the point is, a few hours later, this thing leaks. I'm like, what the fuck? This is just the day is done. How did I?
Yeah, it kind of
It's
is.
the same thing.
Um,
But the problem is, I sent this to people. I'm like, look at what happened. And they're like, oh, I thought it was supposed to look like Grieved in the first place. I'm like, no, it was from a dream.
might have been an unintentional thing, but yeah.
Yeah.
Either way,
I
the
imagine
day
it's
is done came out before Houndstone leaked. That's all we need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just this stupid thing. I like the clitoris on its head.
What?
I don't know.
It's a horn.
That's just how I always see it.
How does it look like a clit?
I don't know. But
Okay.
anyway, I think that's all we needed to say about this one.
Yeah, way too much was said.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh god. Okay, this is another like this. I don't know why, but
This is not a Pokemon.
I love Flamigo, and I don't know why. It's just a regular flamingo, except
Well, it's
apparently
like a pool
it like,
flamingo.
huh?
It's like a pool flamingo.
Yeah, it tied its neck in a knot apparently to like, yeah. So first of all, it's just a flamingo. It's like barely changed. Also, its name is barely changed. But
This thing is a shit
I
post.
love the pun, just flamingo and amigo. It works really well. I cannot explain why, but I fucking love this thing and I'm absolutely using it. It's so good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why. It's so fucking stupid.
I'm a fan.
Also, flying before fighting. We also had flying before dark in
There was a lot
Bombardier,
of questions about which things were flying first versus dark first. I think people kept saying that like Wattrel and stuff were flying electric, and
those turned out to be
and,
electric flying. I think. I
yeah,
think the
and
only
people were saying Bombardier was dark flying, and that turned out to be flying dark.
I think the only primary flying types are Flamigo and Bombardier. But yeah,
This gen, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like. What else is there to say about this thing? It's. Can you put this thing in front of your house and then people will think that you're a swinger? Because apparently that's a thing.
What?
I don't. Well, it's either these or garden gnomes. Apparently, those are like signs that everybody knows that if you have one of these, it's advertisement that you're a swinger. And it's like no, nobody's
What the fuck is a
fucking heard of
swinger?
the type of people who just kind of. It's not cheating on their spouse because like the other person is also into it. It's just where you kind of like trade spouses with a different family.
Oh, I see.
Like
Okay.
I don't know,
For some
but
reason, I thought you meant like a greaser. I don't know why.
no, but I don't know. Yeah, I love Flamigo. I don't. It's so stupid. So then we have Citadel, which we've seen its evolution in pre-release, but
I've seen people claim that this is like a baby Pokemon is in like the category of babies. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, like Toxel. I could
Yeah, Toxel,
potentially see
really.
that. I think you get it pretty late game. Because, like, the game is open world, but you unlock the, like...
Ability to climb and swim and stuff.
You unlock those things from the Titan battles, so, like...
That's right.
I don't know if you can get to the snowy area before you can climb. Not sure. But either way, I kind of don't really care about this thing that much. It's whatever.
It's fine. It's a means to an end.
Yeah. And then Cititan, I also don't really care about that much, and yet I might end up using it anyway, just because I think whales are cool and I like ice types.
I like it. I think it's one of those situations where they revealed it in the context of being like, "Oh, look, this is
Leader
Lucia's
Ace.
Pokemon,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Well, I don't want to steal his shtick."
Thick Fat, not a bad ability for pure ice. It at least eliminates one weakness, but...
Yeah.
What is this thing's stats? Did they try to go defensive on this?
I don't remember. I think its HP is the highest, and then it has pretty good physical attack.
Ooh,
You can't
170.
even see. Yeah.
Yeah, Okay.
Oh, it's actually not defensive at all. It's got the HP and then
Yeah,
pretty good
it's a... I guess just, bulky physical attacker with kind of mediocre speed. It's probably not going to be that good, but...
Well, here's the thing: is that terrestrialization actually benefits ice types, like especially because they get to keep
the
that
ice
amazing.
stab and
They get to keep the great. Like ice is a great offensive type. It's just that its defensiveness is so fucking bad that it drags stuff down.
yeah. So you keep your ice stab and then you switch to like fairy or something, and then yeah. It's another middling design. I kind of like it. It's just not a standout for me.
Should I show you the thing it's based on?
Oh yeah, go ahead. I think you've shown me this. I just forgot what it is.
Yeah.
Some cryptid, right?
Yeah, it's a Japanese cryptid.
The day is done. God.
This thing is so good. It's the Ningen, if anyone is curious. It's really obscure. It's from fucking 2 Channel from like 2012. So
you
it's
know
not
those
even...
those inexplicable gifs from like the late 2000s of like just
like a train doing a loop-de-loop on Eblon's world?
maybe I E-Bomb's World describes it pretty well, where it's just like weird shit that's just like an animated loop. You would see it on like YTMND. I feel like I've seen this in those. Just something that's just a head with legs.
Yeah.
Just like running. I don't know. It's like somebody, it has a face. Alright. So King Gambit. Here's another relatively ancient leak. I say that it's like 2 days old. Because
These things move fast.
Ku and like the other original leakers were saying that King Gambit and Annihilate and I think maybe one other one were going to be like impossible for people to find, and yet this thing showed up like immediately. Someone just data mined the image, I guess.
Yeah, what was annoying was even separately from Ku, there was some kind of like Chinese people that had access to the game that were data mining very selective things and only showing like some of it, and people were getting really annoyed.
Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of the ones that just insult other leakers over the image.
Yeah, there were a few images that would get shared, and it's like, this is the first time we're seeing this new Pokemon, and it's been fucking watermarked with somebody calling one of the leakers like an insult.
Yeah, because we had fucking Paradox Salamence before we knew anything about it, shows up with just in giant text, Centro is, and then a giant black smudge because it had... Yeah.
The N-word.
Yeah. So our first exposure to that is that. But anyway.
King Gambit sits on his hair. This is funny.
Yeah, King Gambit, it's like... I feel like people really love this thing. I am like...
They do?
It's fine.
I like it. I don't love it. It's fine.
What do we got for stats on this?
I actually don't know. Goddamn.
Very high physical stats.
It's interesting, because it's only 10 points difference for the main important stat, and it just kind of, like, makes up for where it was lacking.
It loses speed. It loses speed, gains a bunch of HP. Yeah, okay.
It's always weird that when they... I guess this must be how people felt with, like, using a Gen 2 Mon and then it getting an Evo in Gen 4, but I don't know, like, some of those Pokemon it made sense to give Evos to. This, I feel like Bishop is a perfectly...
It's a Dusknoir situation, or like Rhyperior, where it didn't really need to exist, but, it's
and
cool
if you've used a Bishop, well, now you haven't properly used the full line. You got to use one again, fucker. Buy Scarlet and Violet.
So how does this thing evolve? The one that you have has to... you have to have a Bisharp holding a certain item. And then you have to fight 3 other Bisharps that also hold the item.
You have to defeat other wild Bishops that are holding the... Well, maybe they don't have to be wild, but yeah, Bishops holding the item. Defeat 3 of those.
Really weird. So now we got the Pseudo, with this one whose name was a mystery for fucking forever. God, it's ugly.
It's really weird. It reminds me of, like... Oh god, it's Meet the Gromlins. It's like... This is like a marketable... fucking lil guy that they would put in like a...
No, you know what it is?
Kids movie. What?
It's the fucking baby from the Dinosaurs sitcom.
I don't know if I know that.
Hold on, let me look at this. Can't type. Yeah, it's the fucking baby.
Oh my god.
I'm the baby, gotta love me!
Is he just called the baby?
I don't think he has a name.
Baby.
I don't know.
Good.
But yeah.
Why the fuck does this thing have a gigantic gag nose?
Why does it have a turd hanging from its arm?
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
I don't know. So yeah, definitely not loving this.
There's a better picture of this.
Not loving this first form.
Also, can anybody explain to us where the Bax comes from in all these names? We have no idea.
Yeah, I got nothing. This one is... Why is it named... Why did they name it Air Fryer?
Clearly you don't own an air fryer. Here's another picture of Octobax from the side. Because the other one you have is a little blurry.
Okay. Yeah.
It's fine.
It sure is a second stage. It's just Gabite.
Like the Gyarados pogging on the left?
Yes.
Well, no, that's like the Kanto face. I know the Gyarados normally looks like that, but yeah.
Yeah, it's basically just Gabite, but ice.
Kinda, yeah.
It's okay.
I don't know if I see these being particularly good. They are pseudos, but not all the pseudos are that good.
Oh god, this image.
Centro.
There's got to be a better one.
I know that there is. Hang on. Bax Calib.
It's a cool name.
Stop correcting me.
Yeah. This thing, it looks like Duraludon.
Oh, it does. You're right.
Let me look at stats while you're getting the image, I guess. Very high attack, HP, just generally kind of bulky, I guess. Okay, what is thermal exchange?
Oh, I meant to look that up.
Boost the attack stat when the Pokemon is hit by a fire-type move. Also cannot be burned. Alright. Yeah, no idea.
Already is not weak to fire.
Hmm?
It's neutral because of the dragon type.
Right. So yeah, no idea if this thing will be good or not, but it's I mean, I appreciate having another ice dragon that isn't a legendary, but you got a better picture. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people that ask for like unique types will get satisfied when a legendary does it, and I never am because I'm like,
Yeah,
who the fuck
no.
uses legendaries in main play?
We don't have a fire-water type. Volcanion does not count.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm with you there.
I also maintain that. Okay, well, hold on. We got electric grass because I was gonna say the Rotom forms don't count.
They barely count. Yeah.
We have Hisuian Electrode. Do we have an electric fire? I don't think we do.
No, they should make a fireworks Pokemon that's electric fire.
We have electric water with Lantern. We have
Mhm.
flying. Electric ice. I don't think we have.
Octazalt.
Oh yeah. All right. So that's those. Here's a fish.
This thing is weird. It's not clear from this image unless you look at it intensely and like can think about what it is and stuff. Those things next to it, those fins are not attached. They're actually not even fins. They're just part of its body that have like separated and started floating around it. And this is just a thing it can do.
Yeah. So this is another one that this was just announced as hakefish.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, what's that? And I look it up. I'm like, okay, it's just a long fish. Sure.
Mhm. We also
It's,
saw this thing's face.
Yeah, the early leaks actually did show this thing's face off, and it was this image.
Here's a picture of it with its body like put together.
It's very Barraskewda.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
I
water
feel like I
psychic.
need to know more about what the inspiration is for this thing before I can really get too attached to it.
Right, it's
fine.
a water psychic like Brooksish.
Yeah, it kind of just seems like Broxish again, but
it's
less
an
bearish.
unevolving water type. Yeah, that's basically it. Don't think I care about that one too much. Then we have Dundozo, which is an ugly motherfucker.
And it's a catfish.
Catfish are probably my least favorite animals, following centipedes and hippos. I fucking hate catfish. So, yeah, not thrilled about this thing. It's kind of just
This thing has a weird relationship to another Pokemon, but we'll talk about that when we get to it.
it's just Jaboon from Wind Waker. It's
Oh god, it is.
this thing was described as Sushi Master.
Yeah, like, come on.
So it also it's got a blobfish nose.
Oh god.
So yeah, we can't really discuss this one without discussing the next one. And so here's Tatsugiri. For some reason, this is my favorite thing in the gen. I fucking love this thing. I've been saying this whole video, like, there's a lot of Pokemon where I'm just like, yeah, this thing's gonna be forgotten about. I saw early on, we've got Sushi Master and Sushi, and this thing is Water Dragon, the other one's just pure water, and I'm like, this is gonna be like a Heatmore Durant type thing where they just kind of get pushed aside, like nobody's gonna remember these things, and I'm like,
But again, this is one of the
Titans, yeah, and I'm just like, I have a feeling that nobody's gonna care about these, so like, when this thing gets announced, I'm gonna like pay special attention to it and see, like, if it appeals to me even slightly, I'm gonna use this just to be different. This thing gets announced, and I'm like, okay, this thing's fucking adorable. I love this. Like,
I like it a lot, but I don't like. Yeah, it's not my. I don't know if I have an absolute favorite. I like the Earthworm a lot, and I'm kind of like.
So there's multiple forms of this too, and like, look at this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let me try to explain how this thing works, because I don't fully understand it. So we have the ability here.
Commander.
Yeah. So if you use both of these in a double battle, they kind of like team up and
Yeah,
like.
like
So
yeah.
I still don't know if that then makes it so like this one is like if it leaves the field and like you get two attacks with the other one. I generally I really want to
I don't
know
know if
that.
anyone's tried it yet.
But
It's a shame that like you're probably not gonna like you like this, but you don't like Dondozo, so I don't know if you're really gonna get
I
the
mean you
full
don't really
like
get double
Dondozo.
battles in game anyway.
Oh yeah,
So
sure.
the thing is, Tatsugiri actually has usable stats anyway. They're not amazing, but they're like it's a
Yeah,
good
this thing's
special
fine.
attacker. It's fine. I'm absolutely using this. But yeah, it's like
I'll
so.
certainly use it in future playthrough. Like,
So yeah, from what I understand, let me look at their abilities again. Hold on. This is so yeah, Commander unless it's a hidden ability, and then Dondozo is normal looking stuff. Okay. Yeah, basically when they partner up, like so the catfish just eats the sushi. It's really
because of
weird, but
course it
like
does.
yeah, because catfish fucking eat everything. They're a menace. Um, but like it's done intentionally. Like this thing is still like inside, kind of like in charge of the situation. It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
And apparently Dundozo has like a special move that it can only use when they do this, and it like changes the like aspects of the move change depending on the form of this one.
It's
And
I actually found out what that was. It's I don't remember what the move is called, but it gives you a stat buff, and which stat it is depends on the Tatsugiri form.
okay, um, so here's the other thing: is I don't know what forms there are of this because the way I have them in my spreadsheet, I've got there's I showed those two, and then there's also this orange one. This is kind of like what they look like on land. They almost look like snakes, but like I have this one listed as droopy form. I don't know if that's correct because
Also, the yellow one has the eyes sideways.
hold on, let me get all three of them together. Like
I guess I'm just looking at that
I'm
wrong.
sure all of these are going to be explained at some point, but like
The other one's on like a single grain of rice. This one's on a whole like clump of rice, and then the other one is just on nothing. So
yeah, like but and then it's also like so you have this one is kind of red it like with a pattern. This one's solid yellow. This is like orange with a pattern. Unless that's supposed to be the same as this one. I don't know. There's at least three colors, and there's like multiple shapes, and I don't know to what extent these things vary or if they can
mhm.
like I don't know if the thing with the rice is just part of like a move animation. It's I can't say until I get more info. I know
Yeah,
that the paste bin only showed three forms, and so I assumed it was just three colors. Because they do that for anything with like alternate forms, like Squawkabilly, Vivillon, Flabebe. Like it listed all those. This thing it just showed three. I can't imagine that it's like three forms each with three colors and that not being reflected in the paste bin, but I don't know.
mm,
So I look forward to finding out.
yeah.
And
Um,
we're almost at the end
well,
of.
I have one other thing to say about it, which is there's 8 gyms, there's 5 titans, and there's five teen star bases, which adds up to a total of 18. What the fuck? That one looks brown.
Well, this is Shinies.
Oh, never mind. Okay, sorry. The yellow one's like a plain color. This one changes into being 2 colors from the yellow.
I don't know.
Anyway, that adds up to 18, so it's one of each type. And then there is the Elite Four, and that overlaps a little bit. But even though the Titan battle with Tatsugiri is also involving a Dondozo, that's not the Water type one. The Water type, there's a Water gym leader.
Hmm.
Like Tatsugiri and Dondozo count as the Dragon type.
Yeah, I
Like
don't
their
know.
Titan battle is considered Dragon. I don't know.
So, um, let's actually skip ahead a little bit because these are kind of like
Or
their
like
own
these
special
random.
thing. So,
Yeah.
Gimme Ghoul we know about from pre-release relatively recently, but yeah. So these actually do have different stats. Roaming
Except
form
the
is
latter
a
one
lot
is
faster.
exclusive to the roaming one's exclusive to Pokemon Go, right?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, so the problem here is both of these kind of suck ass. Like,
Yeah.
they're
It's not completely unworkable. You could probably do something with it, at least in game.
yeah. It's like, people say that cast form is kind of like pushing it. Like
I've been using a cast form.
most
and it's
people
like,
think cast form
okay.
sucks ass. I think it's cool, but its stats are definitely not great. This thing, in chest form, has one stat above cast form 70 across the board, and it's just 75. This thing's kind of trash. The idea is cool. I like this thing. I would use it if it didn't suck ass and if the evolution wasn't like impossible. I still might try. We'll have to see.
We still don't know the exact details, right? Because basically, as was mentioned earlier, you have to collect 999 coins. You get a coin from defeating a Gimmighoul chest form,
and you can also just kind of find them. Like
yeah,
it's
unclear.
You can find these like standing around in places.
I've been worried that this is like a Breath of the Wild Korok situation where there are exactly 999, so you can evolve one Gimmighoul and you have to find literally all of them, like all across the map.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I
if
hope
that's
there's
the
a way
case
of
or
grinding
not,
this more easily.
Because like
it'll still be time consuming, but
because the thing is, like, you can find the chest forms in the wild, but I don't know if they respawn. I would imagine that they probably do, because there's never like has there been a permanently missable Pokemon since Diamond and Pearl? Because Platinum had the thing where like legendaries respawn.
Well, there's also Spiritomb, right? Because there's two keystones.
You can get more from the underground.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So I feel like there's probably not a finite number of these, but I don't know.
Well, anything that's gift exclusive, which I think there's oh no, because then you can breed them. Okay, but if you release it.
Yeah. Well, either way, yeah. Point is, anything that you would catch from the wild, like if you fuck up and you kill the legendary, you can respawn it with every game starting from Platinum. So I feel like there's got to be a way to respawn these.
Yeah, and I assume there's also a way to. It says that you can like collect coins from the gold Pokestops, except that's like an event, and I assume that will stop eventually. But I'm guessing the idea.
Well,
is,
that's with
hey,
Go anyway. Like I don't even count Go. Like
I know, but what I'm saying is, I think the idea they had here is like you can do it in game, but it's really annoying. But if you play the mobile game, you can do it a little more easily, and you can like transfer the coins over. But I don't know how that would work. So
yeah.
It remains to be seen.
I was really worried that this thing was going to be like a Meltan situation where you could only get it through Go, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. This form might be, but I don't care about that.
It's just really annoying.
So it's like, all right, what does this thing evolve into? It's described. It was described originally as kind of being like liquid metal gold like humanoid thing, and I was definitely not expecting Lenny Loose Jocks.
Oh my god.
I fucking love this. This is one of my favorites, up with Tatsugiri and Flamingo.
People hate this thing.
Oh, why? It's so good.
With the fucking... Because it's weird, I guess.
It's the Plasma Wraith mixed with Lenny Loose Jocks. It's so good.
Alternatively, it's the cheese string mascot from...
yeah,
I I just looked on Wikipedia. He's called... Mr. Strings.
You can post the image. There's also like a cinnamon stick snowboarder, because this thing is a snowboarder too. Like that's what it looks like in the Pokédex. Like, it's so fucking weird, but I love it.
This is not the guy I remember from the ads when I was a teenager.
Let me look up Lenny Loose Jocks for people who don't know who he is. He's a old Flash game mascot. Like, it's the same guy. Like, fucking look at this thing. But
can I get a good picture of these? Of this guy? I can't find the fucking ad.
But yeah, so this is Ghost Steel. I want to use this thing so bad. I just don't know if it's viable.
He has like childbearing hips. I don't know what's up with that.
Kinda. He's also got like single tooth, which I'm usually not a fan of, but eh. Apparently the shiny on this is terrible. It's just not different. Like, I don't know.
I can't find a good picture.
That's okay. So I want to try to get fit done here because I think I'm gonna have to leave soon. So
Yeah.
next up we have the Paradox Pokemon. Let me put this. Yeah. So these things are freaking weird. They're not legendaries. Maybe you can definitely get multiples of them.
I don't think they are.
They're
Yeah.
just kind of in the wild, like at the end of the game. So we have the ancient forms and the future forms, and I've got them all just in one image because these were from early leaks. So yeah, box legends are paradoxes, and they've already shown the Donphan forms. But yeah, these are not alternate forms of Pokemon. Like they are, but they're unique dex
like,
numbers.
The first one here, Great Tusk. This is presumably, I think this is the implication, is that this is what Donphan was millions of years ago.
Yeah.
It looked like this.
So let me see if I remember. We got Great Tusk, Slitherwing, Brute Bonnet, Screamtail, Fluttermane, Sandy Shocks, Roaring Moon, and then
right.
Koraidon. Yeah. So yeah, these are all Scarlet exclusive, and these were leaked like early on with everything else, and it was like the gen's gimmick. Like these are kind of an Ultra Beast situation.
Yeah.
And it was really weird because they seemed unbalanced. Like Violet has two pseudo legends. This has Jigglypuff and Mischievous, like not even their fully evolved forms.
I've seen it pointed out, like that bothered me too until somebody pointed out, like, it's possible that millions of years ago Miss Magius and Wigglytuff just did not exist. Like they had not come about yet. Screamtail, this was its form, and then eventually it became weaker and gained a metamorphosis stage instead.
So
Fluttermane into Mischievous.
So yeah, all of these are all of them except for the Salamence one are base stat total of 530.
570.
Oh, 570, and then the Salamence is 590.
570 is the standard sub-legend BST. That's like Articuno and stuff like that.
They all have funky typings. And yeah, so I want to point out a few things about some of these because you can't necessarily tell from the images. This one is like halfway between Larvesta and Volcarona, and it can also stand on its hind legs. It's kind of weird. Brute Bonnet has 4 legs and a tail. You can't tell from the image. Screamtail just has like a Mega Mewtwo Y fucking like tendril coming out of it. You can't really see it too well here either, but yeah, it's kind of weird.
Fluttermane looks really similar to Mischievous.
Yeah, this one's kind of. I don't really like this one or this one really, but they're fine. Sandy Shocks is fucking great. This thing has legs, and it also has a tail made out of screws.
Yeah.
This is my favorite of the ancient ones. It's fucking great. It's like the idea. Like I remember really early on, people were like, "Wait, are we sure Magneton is the ancient one? Like, wouldn't that make more sense for future?" But no, it's like that was the point. Like they made this robotic, man-made thing into something that existed thousands of years ago. Like what?
Yeah,
I love it. And then this thing is just badass. Like, it's one of those Pokemon where it's just, if you, a lot of people just, want a straight up, like, brutal, menacing, tough looking Pokemon. And I think this is the standout of that for the generation. Like, this thing's great.
A lot of people really like Boring Moon, yeah.
So, yep. Pretty solid. There's a lot of.
You want to mention the types on these because we've been doing it for the rest.
Yeah. So we got. I think I remember them all. So ground fighting.
Bug fighting.
Oh, they're both fighting.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Grass dark, which I kind of wish it was something else. I think it was originally supposed to be grass ground in the leaks.
I can't remember. Very psychic.
Which is overdone as all hell. Ghost Fairy, which is cool. Electric Ground. And I think this just got Hydreigon's typing, right? It's Dark Dragon.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. We'll
Yeah.
talk about Koraidon and Miraidon later.
Maybe. I don't have much to say about them really, but yeah. So yeah, a lot of debate over which set is better, the Ancient or the Future. I think they're both pretty good.
I think they're both good, except I don't like the names for the future ones.
Yeah, the Future one, the names for these are lame as hell. So we have Iron Tusk, Iron Moth, Iron Valiant, Iron Hands, Iron Bundle, Iron Jugulus, which is a weird fucking name, and Iron Thorns. I don't know why they're all iron. First of all, I don't know why all of these are just. I don't know why they don't have proper names anyway. But at least the ancient ones had like different names, and they weren't all the same.
The ancient ones make sense because I like the idea that like maybe prehistoric people were like they didn't have the idea of
proper
Pokemon
naming
names,
conventions.
like,
Yeah, they just
like
them.
that is the thing with the tail that screams. It is Scream Tail. And I've heard it argued that like the iron thing here is supposed to show a sense of like conformity, where it's like these are like mass produced maybe, and they're like just part of like a set of intentional robots. But like I don't know, for the record, all of the leak info has come from a Scarlet ROM, so we don't actually know about like story details that differ in Violet. Like we don't know how stuff works with the future version of the story, only the past version. So I don't know
because we find all of the outside of the Donphin forms, which are a Titan that you can access, relatively early. All of these are restricted to the crater in the center of the map that you only get after completing all 3 quest lines. So they're very late game, and some of them might actually be post game.
Several of them are in fact post game. I think it's like half and half. Half of them are just very late, and the other half are.
So I'm guessing it's Donphan, then you get 3, then you beat game, then you get the other 3.
Something like that. I'm not 100% sure.
So, but yeah, these I've seen people kind of annoyed that these are all just robots. I think they're pretty neat.
They look varied enough.
It's also kind of hilarious that out of all things, fucking Delibird got one, and it is actually really usable. Good. Yeah. So, we have.
I'm glad they're not all part Steel type, by the way.
Yeah, we have Ground Steel. I think it was originally leaked as Ground Electric.
Yeah.
Then we have
Fire Poison.
Fire Poison, right? This is Fighting Fairy. It's kind of like a halfway between Gardevoir and Gallade.
That's right, yeah. It's actually Fairy Fighting.
Whatever. Electric Fighting, I think.
The reason I mention, it's Fairy Fighting, is because for every single one of these, the first type is one that it shares with the original, I believe.
Yeah, except for Iron Valiant, because this is supposedly supposed to be Gallade.
I think it's halfway, but the fairy implies that it's supposed to be more Gardevoir, so it's questionable. I don't know.
Right. So Fighting Electric, Ice Water, which is not the most exciting type, but not bad. What's this one? This is Dark Flying. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Rock Electric, and then Dragon Electric. So the shinies for these are all just silver, by the way. I don't know, people seem like overly obsessed with shinies for some reason. Like the fact that we have clearer images of the shinies than the normal forms is just bizarre to me. But I saw a lot of bitching that these are all just chrome plated, and it's like
everything's chrome in the future.
Yeah, fair enough. Like I'll take that over neon Donphan here. Like these are
nothing wrong with the neon Donphan.
Yeah. So yeah, I like both sets. When I first heard that these games were going to have one game is past, one is future, I'm like, well, I mean, I definitely want future. Seeing all of these, I feel like they're pretty equal, honestly. I like the past forms and the future ones.
The problem is you can't fucking use them, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know.
Like it's for like post game stuff, which there's barely a post game, and maybe like competitive battles. But by the time you move on to competitive, you can just trade with your friends.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So in terms of the thing you're going to be seeing throughout the whole game, the mount, I definitely prefer Miraidon, but
same.
Koraidon's grown on me now that I've seen it be like fucking toothless. But
I always liked Koraidon. I just preferred Miraidon.
I didn't hate it as much as everybody when they were bitching about how it just runs and doesn't use its wheels, but yeah. Anyway, I guess we'll talk about those then. What is there to say about them, really? They're box legends. They have these different forms that aren't really forms. I think the stats on them are identical. Like, not the two compared to which... Okay, they're not even listed yet. They have, like, 5 forms each, but they're just visual, I think.
Yeah, it's just for different traversal modes in the overworld.
Yeah, but, like, they still have those forms, like, they're, like, statted, so I don't know if you can, like,
it's probably
choose
just a
which
feature
one.
of the engine.
Yeah. So yeah, everyone complains about this thing because it runs like a Flintstones car and doesn't use its wheel. I don't really mind it. This one's just generally cooler though.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen this one in action because the people streaming are all doing Scarlet, but I think this one has a better design. That's really all I can say about them. I don't ever use Box Legends, but
oh yeah, of course, me neither.
yeah.
I feel like these are probably the ones you're going to have more of an attachment to than any other, though.
Yeah, definitely. I will say this thing is definitely just the 5 mounts from Legends in one package, though. Like, it's... no fall damage, though. I saw them jump off the top of the mountain with this thing, and...
Well, yeah, because there's no damage system in general for the trainer in this game.
Yeah. So, that pretty much just leaves the other legendaries and then the DLC. So
stay tuned for next. No, okay.
So yeah, we've got these 4 Chinese named
Chinese myth dragons. I've seen people calling these like the Ruinous Quartet or like the Ruin Quartet or something because they apparently bring ruin. Their abilities are all like when they get sent out, they lower an opposing stat similar to Intimidate, but for like different stats.
I see. So yeah, I'm attempting to remember these names. I'm working on it.
I somehow immediately remembered them.
I remember the first 2, and I remember that the third one has the same chin as the second one, but I can never remember the other parts. But anyway, so Ting Lu is a deer. Oh god.
It has a giant bowl on its head.
We gotta have a better picture.
There is. Give me a second. Pokemon.
I think all of these are gonna be kind of shitty images. So try to find the other ones too. But yeah, I don't know the significance of these.
Oh, I only have shinies. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, they were originally described as they were called like Dingaloo deer and like all this other shit. Like I don't know if there's like some myth or something where like these 4 animals specifically have some relevance, but
I'm sure it'll come up.
Yeah, so they're all part dark. This one is dark ground. It's the deer. Then we have Ice Dark is a leopard. I've seen people call this thing a ferret.
Each of these has like some kind of prop that is like a thing of ruin. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, this one's got like a spear.
Let's see. Tinglu has Vessel of Ruin. This one has Sword of Ruin.
Okay. Then Woqian is the snail.
Tablets of Ruin are the weird wooden things wrapped around its back.
And then my favorite one is Chi-Yu, the koi.
Yeah, this has Beads of Ruin. This thing is great. It's Pachiwaba.
I don't know what that is.
I'm trying to figure out how to summarize the story here. In school, at one point, we had to like come up with a creation myth for the world after studying other creation myths. Mine is not interesting. I won't go into it. I don't even remember it well because I didn't contribute much. But my friend told me about his, where he based it on me telling him about the Magikarp origin, where it's like based on the koi jumping over the dragon gate and turning into a dragon. He came up with a myth where the world was like half fire and half water, divided by a wall, and there was like a fish that swam in the water and jumped over the wall into the sea of fire and like started mixing the water and the fire together. And this fish's name was Pachiwaba, and I've remembered this for the past like 11 years because I fucking love that name.
Nice. But yeah.
And this thing is just fucking Pachiwaba.
But yeah, these things are all cool. Yeah, for like the fish one is just it the fucking big bulging eyes are hilarious, and it's a very clean design. Like this thing
it has like Magatamas circling its eyes.
Yeah, this thing's just cool. But I like the snail. The first 2 are
I don't know why the
like
snail has like antlers and tusks. It's weird, but cool.
Does it have tusks?
Yeah, look at the other picture of it.
Oh,
See?
what the hell? Huh. I don't know.
I don't know why it's not in the shiny, but
I guess they're extendable.
I don't know why the eyes are inside, like, the gap in the fucking antlers. This thing is weird.
Atma Bob.
Yeah.
So that's basically the decks. But yeah, so it was according to Ku, the base game was going to have these next two things, but then they decided to hold on to them for DLC, which I guess could explain their weird dex position, but also not, because why the fuck aren't they at the end anyway?
I guess maybe if
I think I mentioned that Roaring Moon and Iron Valiant are higher BST than the rest.
yeah,
It's weird that the future
But it's
ones
not
have two pseudos and
or-
it's not either of those. But-
yeah, there's like some weird.
So Tyranitar and actually, yeah, all three of the pseudos actually lose BST
Yep.
when they go into these forms. I will also mention that all of these have the same ability. So Koraidon creates sunlight, I think, basically like Groudon, and then Miraidon creates electric terrain.
Oracle Compulse, it's Drought plus getting an attack boost in Sunlight. Hadron Engine is electric terrain or electric surge or whatever the hell the ability is that creates electric terrain, and boost special attack on electric terrain.
Yeah, so those do that, and then all of these are just when in sun or when in electric terrain, it boosts their highest stat. And
that's right.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna have
it's
to
a
leave
beast
in a minute.
boost. Ooh. Okay. Do you want to quickly show the pictures?
Yeah.
The legendaries.
I will also mention the paradoxes have the past ones are all
even past are odd
past are all
numbers,
odd, future.
numbers.
Yeah. So
I'm wondering what kind of future results in just Pokemon are robots now.
So here's this thing. This is Scarlet exclusive legendary
Fusion of the
beast
three.
hybrid thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't really have a good image of the future one, but it's supposed to be the
Yeah, somebody
Swords
has
of
the image,
Justice.
and they're holding out on us, and they have shown us a cropped version because they're an asshole.
yeah, it's supposed to be the Unova
Swords of
Legends.
Justice.
And then we have some sort of third legend that is tied into the game's gimmick in the same way that Eternatus
It's like a
did, and it's
weird orb made of
Yeah.
hexagonal crystals that is related to the terrestrialization phenomenon, and that's all we know.
yep. But
And the terrestrialization also features into the game story, but I won't be spoiling that here.
anyway, I suppose I have to go then.
Thank you for watching. If you watched through all that, let us know your own thoughts on the gen. Obviously, since we've gone through spoilers, this will be a place where you can freely talk about that. So yeah,
Yep. I look forward to playing it, and I hope that it does not.
disappoint
Yeah,
in the game.
pretty much. Because I think the designs overall, like, there are a lot of them that I've said I'm like, it's meh, but I feel like it had really good highs, and the lows were just kind of like, it's okay.
Or like, oh, this could have been better.
There were none that were like super boring. I feel like Gen 8 was mostly super boring. So boying.
They played it safe.
Yeah.
They played it safe, and here they kind of went wild again. So,
All right. And
ciao.